Hello and welcome to Behind the Pixels, Behind the Podcast. I'm Brandon.
I'm Moose.
I'm Weston.
And we have a little bit of a special show today. Normally we don't like to do anything that will, date the episode. But it's a bit of a special occasion. It's a gamer holiday last week.
More like a gamer vacation.
Do we not date ourselves? I feel like I date myself every single time.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm dating myself rather than the show.
We try and always talk about things that are out, or concepts.
Topical.
We try and avoid. Yeah. But this time we're talking about E3 2016, and we're just gonna jump right into it. So we couldn't be there, unfortunately, because we have cats. Well, most of us have cats and jobs.
One of us is allergic to cats' jobs.
Yeah, one of us
Both
is
of
allergic
those,
to cats and jobs.
definitely.
So we did the next best thing. I watched all of E3 and summarized it for my two co-hosts.
I watched a lot of trailers.
I watched a few trailers.
But we've been keeping up with the information. It's not like we could avoid it this week.
Well, generally how I get news from these things is other people tell me. I guess I've said that a lot, huh? In a lot of the podcasts.
A lot of things, yeah. I
don't
watch trailers. People just give me things.
It's true.
I think that this year I got a lot more out of memes than I got out of other people.
Really?
Because of Death Stranding.
I guess I haven't seen any Death Stranding memes. Not that I want to.
It's mostly pictures from behind the scenes of Norman Reedus.
Yeah,
naked.
They put in a lot of behind the scenes things. Let's jump right into it. The first. This isn't in order of when they did their presentation because I don't actually know the order. I watched them.
Yeah, who cares?
I also don't think anyone cares. Yeah.
But, no one's gonna be like, that wasn't announced at that moment on this day. It was totally 3 hours before, bro.
We're gonna go ahead and start with Microsoft. They had an okay presentation.
Tell us about the presentation itself.
It was
on a scale of super awkward to mouth breather.
On a scale of Ridge Racer to James Bond.
I don't know what Ridge Racer is.
Which
Bond you're talking about.
Brandon fails us again.
What? Have you not seen that E3 presentation? Giant enemy crab hit its weak point for massive damage. Ridge Racer.
Oh, yeah.
The most awkward presentation I've seen in my entire life. I've seen 12-year-olds give better ones in speech class.
Microsoft did have the most awkward presentation of this year's E3, in my opinion. Which we'll talk about, which was the Minecraft one, but that's because they're always awkward because Minecraft has bad PR people.
That one I felt started off like it was going to be okay. It's just a thing you do at presentations, and everyone knows you're going to be corny. I think that at the point when John Carmack was out, it was just kind of okay, this is just super awkward and strange. I get he's out there showing that you can do Minecraft in VR, but...
I watched it last night, but what was the... Minecraft in VR has been a thing for 2 years,
right,
at least.
Yeah, but now you can play with other people who can play in VR on a different console.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so the friendly update was that you can do crossplay now, which is whatever.
So Windows 10 Edition and Pocket Edition and Xbox Edition can all join the same worlds now. So
and iOS.
That's odd. Pocket Edition
and
is
iOS.
And iOS.
That's Pocket Edition.
Oh, okay.
Pocket Edition was a different game. It wasn't
Pocket
the same
Pocket
game.
Well, so is this.
So yeah, Pocket Edition is what started.
This is Minecraft Realms. This is not just Minecraft.
I'm done.
No, so okay.
I was you're not getting it. It's not an update to Minecraft.
No.
Isn't it?
Okay, no.
It said friendly update.
Minecraft Realms is
the update?
No, Minecraft Realms is a online server hosting. So
okay.
Minecraft has their own server hosting called Realms.
Okay.
And they're bringing Realms to Pocket and Windows 10.
Okay, I misspoke.
They're not bringing it to Xbox yet. The friendly update is if you're on the same LAN or WAN or I think you can... No, there's no hosted servers for Pocket, I don't think. So if you're on the same network, you can join other people's worlds or the Xbox. I think the Xbox can join online as well. So they pretty much, they've got Pocket 10 and Xbox at feature parity. So they're all essentially the same version now. They were split and now they're all essentially the same. And so they can join each other's worlds. And then Realms is coming later to Xbox. Is coming to Pocket and 10 right now. And then the other thing that they're adding is texture packs and what they call add-ons, which are just gimped mods.
Yeah.
And those are coming to Pocket and Windows later this year, and then 10 sometime. Or not 10, Xbox sometime.
Eventually.
Yeah. But yeah, that one was just really awkward just because they always try and pretend everyone's friends and they've got these scripted conversations that no one knows how to properly do, and it just gets awkward trying to do that. But that's Minecraft. I mean, that's just what you expect from Minecraft now. But let's get into...
I expect it to die.
There were two big things that Microsoft announced, which was the Xbox One S.
Slim.
They're going with the Apple naming scheme now, so it's the Xbox One S.
And it's white, too.
It is white.
Which is the opposite of last time when it was white and
Right,
the S was black.
Yeah.
Man.
The Elite. But yeah, at
No,
least
it was
that's
the
what...
S.
They don't have an X360S.
I thought it was
No, it was the Elite.
360 Slim. I don't think it was called the Elite. I'll look it up.
You might be right. I don't know. I thought Elite was the slim version.
No, the Elite was the...
No, it's just the next version.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Elite...
Was there even a slim Xbox 360?
Yes, the black one.
The
Wait,
Elite
no, but
was
the Elite
black.
is black.
Okay, well, it was... No, mine was... Yeah, it was. 360 Slim.
That's an Elite.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's not any
So
smaller.
Miguel doesn't know what he's
It
talking
might be
about.
like
no, but
barely smaller.
was that titled Slim or was it titled
I
Elite?
Googled slim.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
360.
360S.
Yeah. Where do you see S?
Slim.
As we're Googling
Slim.
things while we talk about them.
That is an Elite.
I don't...
It was not as tall.
Right.
But I think it was just as wide.
No, it was a little bit smaller.
Maybe
I
a
had
little bit
both.
smaller then.
It felt smaller, maybe because it was just not as tall or
It felt
wide.
cheap.
Yeah.
Personally.
I was okay with it.
I had a mess
As opposed to the original 360, which was cheap.
which was cheap but didn't feel cheap.
Felt cheap when it red ringed.
Yeah, it did when it red ring.
Well, yeah, but the
I know what you're
plastic
saying.
and the
I know
weight-
what you're saying because that's how I talk about phones.
Right,
Yeah.
very oddly, some consoles need to weigh a certain amount for me, or else I feel like they're not
That is very
well
odd.
made. Even if it's not true, but also like I hate it if I can pull the entire console off the shelf on accident by sneezing and pulling the controller a little bit. I think that's a major defect. I would rather them put like lead weights in it in order for that to
Right.
not happen.
So I think in your eyes, then, that original Xbox over there is the most well-made console you've ever had.
In terms of...
I really liked the original Xbox.
Yeah.
I did.
I liked mine
And
too.
it also had a breakaway cable that was very annoying, but also saved me a few times. So,
Well-
and I, for how small I am and how small my hands are, I loved the original Xbox controller. The huge.
That's really
giant one.
weird.
I know.
That you would.
I like the
I was
black and-
I was okay with it.
Yeah.
I have a problem with the current one. We can talk about that some other time.
Yeah. No.
yeah.
Some other time.
So,
So the new one.
Xbox One S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Looks like a cheese grater.
The thing.
A little bit.
It's got air vents on the front. The top is still
No, it has air vents on the top too. I thought.
no. The top's smooth, isn't it?
On the Slim?
One S.
No, the 1S, I'm pretty sure it's got air vents.
Oh,
on.
you're right.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, look at it.
It's got bigger air vents on the top than the front.
Honestly, it looks like something from like the 70s.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen buildings built like that.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It looks like a building.
Yeah. So it's 40% smaller.
Meh. Don't care.
Yeah. It's got up to 2 terabyte hard drives. What is it? The current one only goes to what? 600? 750?
No idea.
Not enough.
Yeah.
It goes to not enough since I have to install everything and play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got the integrated
That's
power
the console
supply.
struggle, though.
Yeah. Well, they are bigger hard drives.
I know, but they'll never do it. So
You got the integrated power supply. Nice. It'll do 4K UHD video playback, but not games.
Not gameplay.
Because
Because that was never promised to us. Ever,
but that's
that we have
true. That'll
4K.
be the next generation. I'm fine with
It
that.
was promised to us.
He was promised. Oh yeah. Wow. You know.
we
how it
should
goes.
be at that stage, and we're still
Yeah.
playing standard definition games.
no, we're
gonna
not.
throw that out there.
We're playing 1080p.
I'm playing in 1080p, but
Yeah, we're playing 1080p games. Well, does Xbox still scale back to 720?
I
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not a big stat person, but I guess that's because I play PC and
That's
don't give a
different.
crap
That's
because everybody else has to struggle for it. And I'm like, whatever. We just have whatever the current tech is.
You get in this point. You get what you get out of your video card, and we're promised a thing, and then it doesn't really get to us.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get to the
I'm
day
sorry,
where
to
you
me,
can
'cause
upgrade your
you're also
console
a
with
PC
different
player.
video cards, and then it'll just literally be a PC.
Yeah. They already literally they're x86 PCs, and the Xbox One is running Windows 10. So the Xbox One is definitely a PC.
Wow.
And yeah, it also has HDR gaming, so it's not 4K, but it will do HDR, which is that fancy schmancy
I
new
know,
coloring
yeah.
thing.
It's not very new.
It's new to game. Well, I guess it's new to console games.
Yeah.
PC buds are right. They extended the range of the wireless controllers. Yeah, I guess.
How far does it need to be? I've definitely left the room with mine so I could stay on the headset with my party and been fine.
Maybe you want to like go to the neighbors for a real quick, dinner or something like that.
I wish the Wii U would extend its range. That thing has garbage range.
Oh yeah.
How far? I
thought yeah. 'Cause
I can't take it 15
You can go
feet.
to the bathroom and just
I
use
think
it in the
I don't think
bathroom.
I've ever been more than like 15 feet. I think
But my deal is that you can walk around and play it with just the
just
thing,
that screen. You could leave
and I
the
do that
room.
all the time.
You could leave the
and
room.
I want to go lay down in my bed.
On
And
the other
it's
side of the
15 feet away. No, it's
It's not
literally
that far.
It's not. It's not at my current house. It's at the Corpus.
house.
But I go around the corner, and then I lay down,
Yeah.
and it's actually got like a pretty much straight line to me, and it can't. And it'll if I'm laying down, I have to hold it at arm's reach, and it'll work perfectly. And the moment I put it on my chest, disconnected.
I don't. I think that's your house construction. Then it sounds like you've got some signal.
It is
your
100 years
material.
old.
Yeah. If you've got the thicker walls and stuff like that, it'll interfere with the signal.
Yeah, but I still can't walk in a straight line more than 20 feet or so, and I want to. I want to.
I can definitely respect that for the Wii U. That makes sense because you have a screen on that controller.
Yeah, but with the regular controller, I don't know. I could see it. No, here's the deal. Here's what it is. I got it. I got your customer that you're trying to figure out the demographic for.
I think I've got it too.
It's
Playing in a movie theater.
kind of
In a personal theater with
it's
the Xbox behind a wall.
Yeah.
Well, what people do is they put all of their stuff somewhere else in the house.
Yeah.
And then all of their devices just relay to all those things so that all you have in your personal space is like a remote control and a controller, and everything else is like in a closet somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I could see that.
Yeah, that's dumb.
But you should just get a relay.
Yeah.
You know?
You should just have it in the room.
So
yeah.
so y'all are struggling to find out who's using this longer range, but here's the last feature, and let's see if you can figure out who's using this one.
Okay.
It's got an IR blaster to turn on your TV and soundbar.
I saw that. I don't know what an IR blaster is.
Are you
talking about like Game Boy Color when it had the thing out the thing? And and then you hook them together?
You remember olden time TVs had IR.
Okay, I didn't know that was called an IR blaster.
Well, yeah.
Well,
So
I guess it makes sense.
It's called
That was the 90s, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you call the one on a TV remote an IR
Right,
blaster
it's
because
this feature.
they're a set range. An IR blaster is one that can just do
Whatever.
whatever ranges.
Programmable.
Yeah. So like your
I think it just does them all.
Logitech programmable things and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which didn't make any sense to me because one, it's on the front of the console, and IR has a 45-degree range. So unless your TV is in front of the console,
Is it on the console or the Kinect?
the console. It's
There's got to be a way that works. They can't have overlooked that.
It's right here on the console. It's right there on the front, below the logo. And so I can't imagine anyone having their home system set up in such a way that
blasts
IR
behind them.
Yeah, because one, it's below your TV, usually in a cabinet like mine. Well, I don't have an Xbox One, but like where I keep all my consoles, it's below my TV in a little glass cabinet. So there's already interference with the IR. And then it's not going to go up and then back to get to the TV. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
You know what my parents have? They've got these little... They had such an old TV that in order to have, like, infrared things, there were these little pods that you could, like,
They do
stick
have relays.
on the back.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have IR relays. Which
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they're...
That'd be pretty funny though. You just have all these IR relays set up on like a little thing just right below your Xbox.
Right, like I don't see any mention of it coming with an IR relay. And
Maybe it's just one of those things that they're like, here's an extra feature.
Yeah, that's pretty
if
much
you have
it.
a use for it, have fun.
That's pretty much it. They were like, let's just get more features tacked into this thing.
Well, to be fair, I like overbuilt rather than underbuilt. So
Well, it adds money to the thing now.
I guess an IR blaster, like 20-year-old tech, shouldn't add very much.
It doesn't add much to manufacturing.
Yeah.
It adds to
Yeah.
marketing.
Well, whenever they come out with these, they're usually cheaper, aren't they?
So this one is starting with the lowest tier hard drive is $299.
Okay, so no, it's not cheaper.
What's the lowest tier hard drive is, I think, 350 gigabytes? What is it?
I don't know. If they're
I'm
into
not sure.
the starting price, though, then it's not cheaper.
$399, I think, was the 2 terabyte option also. So $399 if I said that wrong. Yeah. So $299 to $399 is the range for that. And that's the Xbox One S. Now the other thing that Miguel sort of hinted at was they also announced another console with as many buzzwords as they could possibly fit into that presentation. Called Project Scorpio.
I was like, how did I hint at that? I was like, oh, okay.
Project Scorpio is built for 4K gaming.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Is it their next console?
so this is where their
The Xbox
buzzwords
1.5.
and everything. This is Microsoft has moved beyond generations.
Oh
all
my
right,
God, I
it's
don't
not it's not the
Yeah,
next
right.
console. All right, they said that games and accessories will work for both consoles, which I'm very skeptical of. If you're building a game designed for 4K gameplay, like 4K HDR gameplay at 120 frames per second or
Maybe
whatever,
they'll just downscale it. I don't know.
I guess.
Or
but-
they're expecting developers to make both versions
Right.
accessible, which is
Right.
like, screw you. Don't put that. I feel like a lot of consoles have failed or not done as well because of the pressures they try to put on developers. It's
so
weird.
So with Project Scorpio, they have new requirements for the developers. All games must be 4K high fidelity graphics. Required, mandatory.
Are they trying to do like a PS Vita and just crash themselves?
Maybe, I don't know. It has fully uncompressed pixels and the highest quality pixels anyone has ever seen.
What are they, Trump? I've got the best pixels.
I got
My
the best,
pixels
yeah,
aren't
yeah.
compressed. I have all the pixels.
Not the best,
All
but
the
yeah, the
pixels.
best. Yeah.
Let's make pixels great again.
It's like that doesn't mean anything. It is 100% for you guys, and it is the We Heard You console.
Well, that's actually fair. If that's what they think we wanted, because it's what they told us they were going to get us
Yeah.
the last iteration, then sure.
Yeah.
That's how they're coming at it. Great.
Well, no,
Let's
I
see
would
what you
say-
actually deliver.
I would say the Xbox One in its current format is the We Heard You console because they
wouldn't.
backtracked.
Oh,
and
because they changed
axed
things.
like a million things after
They
the
did.
negative press that they got.
That's
That's
no, hold on. If it was the We Heard You console, they wouldn't have had to backtrack. This was
No,
the
no,
this
that's
was
what I'm saying
the
is-
this was the We're Sorry console.
Well, but they changed things.
But they
so
changed
that
things,
They're
so they
hearing
heard
things
you.
and changing
Yeah, and
them.
apologize. It's the We're Sorry console.
That's fine. You can call
Yeah.
it what you want to, but what Wes says is like they heard us at this point and they're making changes. When they came out with a terrible UI, they changed it, and when we were like, no, it's still crap, they changed it again, and it's pretty decent now.
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah,
It's
It's better than it was.
yeah.
It's got the most powerful graphics processor ever in a gaming console with six teraflops of power.
Probably that's what new consoles are.
Yeah.
They're more powerful than the last time.
No real details on any of the specs though.
Of course.
Of course not, because
Or
then they're committed to something.
any
Well, and
images
it's
of
gonna
it.
change anyways.
Yeah, I don't even know if they've designed the outer shell
that's,
yet.
That's for sure.
It's supposed to come out holiday season 2017. No details on prices or anything else.
How long has it been since Xbox One came out? I feel like I just got one. I got one a year ago.
Yeah, I got one a little over a year ago, I guess. Then
came out a few years ago.
I guess 18 months ago. I got it for my around
2013.
December.
3 years now.
Wow.
Well, I guess
That's
two.
not that long.
Two
though.
and a half. November 2013.
4 years.
Like 5 years is a normal span of time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, what
PS2 felt like it was a lot longer.
Technology's increasing.
PS2 was supported for like 12 years, but
Yeah.
it was
PS2
surpassed.
was still kind of supported.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't discontinue it until long after PS4 was out.
Right.
So,
And we still play the hell out
When
of it.
Persona 4 came out, like 2 years into the PS3 life cycle. that was pretty funny.
yeah.
They're doing the next Persona game, and it's on PS3.
What?
It should have been announced in E3. I didn't see that anywhere.
They didn't mention any of the
I'm gonna
previous
look
gen
for it.
games. They didn't mention
look for it.
there were no previous gen games announced. So if it's for PS3 only, then they probably didn't talk about it at
Yeah,
all.
but it's Persona.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
But
But it's on PS3.
I thought that they
I'll
announced
look.
a PS. Is there not a PS4 Persona? On
I'll
my
look.
list?
I'm looking. I'm keep talking.
I got a list. Just look at the list.
I didn't see one on that
No,
list.
there's not.
It's coming out on what? Okay,
Uh-oh.
no, never mind. This is the series.
Oh, okay. You're like, it says PS2.
It literally did, so that's why I was confused.
All right. They also
You keep
announced
looking.
The Xbox Play Anywhere program,
Right.
which will now, because the Xbox One is a Windows 10 computer. Now that Windows 10 is been forced upon the public, and the APIs and stuff, the DirectX APIs and everything are more unified now. They are pushing for all games now. I don't know that they're forcing it, but they're really it feels like they're pushing their developers towards it, for games to be released cross-platform. So when you release it, you can get it on Windows, Windows 10, Xbox, and play them. And it will sync your Xbox Live progress. It'll sync your game progress, your achievements, and everything across the platforms.
I don't know that I'll ever. So PlayStation tried this, right? With the PSP and the PlayStation Vita, you could sync it up to the PS3, and you could go back and forth playing from one to the other on the same game. And first of all, you have to go out of your way to do it, and I went out of my way to do it, and I was like, I don't see the point of this at all. And then if you watch the commercials, you see some like weird hipster who just apparently can't sit still for more than 5 literal seconds. And I don't know. It felt really weird and useless, and like a lot of effort was spent doing this. Like, I was impressed by the fact that it worked, and then I couldn't find a use for it whatsoever.
What if what if right now if you have your 360 in Corpus and you had your PC here?
How many people live in 2 places?
I'm just saying for you. You said you couldn't find a use for it.
That's true, but
I would guess most of the people that they portray in their commercials, because everyone in their commercials looks rich.
To be fair,
It's
the
true.
people who live in 2 places are the people who put their Xbox behind 3 walls so they don't have it in the same room with their TV and need the extended range on.
no, that's people who have 2 families, not 2 places that they go live to. No, yeah, I could maybe see a use for that. Do I have to purchase it twice?
No. So that's the thing. If you buy it for the Xbox,
It's going to be only
for the
digital,
PC.
though, I imagine.
At least one of them will be
You
digital.
probably have a license, and that would.
If I can buy a disc...
Well, actually, I'm not sure about that, and they didn't
haven't
detail
talked about
that
it yet.
because, I mean, the games on the Xbox are Windows applications; they're executables.
Right,
So,
right.
in theory, you should. I can't see any reason why, because I can't see any reason why you shouldn't be able to just take those. They're on
The same
Blu-rays
discs,
now, right?
yeah.
If you've got a Blu-ray player on your computer, I can't imagine why you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But they probably will also come with digital copies as well.
So Persona 5 did have an E3 trailer, by the way, where
yeah?
they interview a dude who's all beat to hell.
I didn't see
Which,
that.
man, I never like... You know what's funny? I really like the Persona series a lot,
Yeah.
and I always hate the protagonist. I always think he's just such a stupid hipster who I just can't relate to whatsoever.
We're up to 2 counts of the phrase "stupid hipster."
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're keeping track.
I want
of
to make
that.
sure that you guys recognize it. Seems to have pretty heavy. What was that game? Catherine.
Yeah.
It seems to have pretty heavy like Catherine inspired things from. I mean, it's all the same people, so it's whatever. But it's coming out for PS3 and PS4.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, they didn't demo that during the Sony talk, so.
This must have just. I'm sure Atlas just did it. February 14th of next year. That's still kind of a ways away.
All right, so let's run down some of the stuff that Microsoft demoed. Also, I mean, you asked me to tell you how their presentation was set up. It was the same as always. They had the big stage with the big TV, and then they had on the side, because they've always got like one side circular stage. So on the side is where the people who were gaming stood.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think they had like a smaller, like, what's the word, alcove, like a little indent over here on the left side, where they also seemed to put the other gamers that weren't important enough for stage time.
They weren't the presenters.
Yeah. So I mean, that's their typical setup. So Gears of War 4 is what they opened with. Are either of you Gears of Warsers?
I played the first one so much, and then never again.
I played the first couple a little bit, but I didn't actually play through it that much. And then I played the third one. I actually made sure to play through that. But I think I'm okay with just that. A lot of people are really excited about 4 when it was announced. I saw people super hyped. This trailer released a long time ago, or at least the trailer did. I'm sure they talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah, they probably showed many more features. Yeah, if you like Gears of War,
I mean, who doesn't like taking a machine gun with a chainsaw bayonet to something?
Yeah,
right.
That's just.
I played Gears of War 1, and I remember liking it. I do actually want to play through the series, but I never wanted to play through it enough to buy the Xboxes that I'm missing.
Yeah.
So,
Gears of War was on PC.
It's a console game. I'm gonna play it on console.
It really is a console game. I heard that the PC versions are really awful.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I felt about the trailer itself. I don't know if you guys actually watched that.
I don't know which
trailer
trailer.
Watch it.
I don't know
It's
which trailer.
it's a cover of Sound of Silence.
Okay, I did not watch this trailer because this is.
Which it just reminded me a lot of a scene in the third one when they were playing Gary Jules' version of Mad World during like the end of a battle.
Yeah, this isn't what they did in the E3. So
yeah, I'm sure that a lot of this is just
poor Mad World. So overused.
I should have put. I didn't even look at the date on that video. That's why I put the wrong one in this list.
Oh,
this is April. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
was the other one.
Yeah, that's the old ones. I don't know if there was another trailer release or not. But I know they just talked about it.
At the E3, they did a trailer. No, it was a gameplay trailer, I think.
Okay. I haven't seen that then.
No. It was a trailer. I don't remember what was in it. It wasn't that one in the list though. But they did a gameplay demo of it while they were talking, and the game looks pretty good. I mean, they got the guns, they got the shooting, they got the chainsaws.
They got the guns.
You got the chainsaw. They got the creatures you cut in half.
I imagine they'll have a bunch of fun new things.
Yeah,
for people actually who really like. I think one of the things about Gears of War is that it's an old game in a lot of the senses. It like a Doom and stuff like that. Of course, a new Doom came out, but you've got crazy over the top things that are hilarious, while at the same time, relatively decent level of skill you need to manage the game and your ammo. And,
you've got a little bit of tactics with cover and flanking and.
Well, cover's old now too.
Yeah.
Cover. The heyday of cover was when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like 2006 or so. You had like all these Band of Brothers games, and you had man, I don't even know if anybody remembers it, but Kill Switch.
I remember Kill Switch.
Yeah. That was huge. That game was huge. That is a game that has been forgotten. Like by anyone who didn't, the history doesn't remember Kill Switch, but it was the ultimate We had a conversation earlier this morning about penultimate and how I use it wrong.
Well, I mean, remember, everyone's using ultimate wrong because ultimate means last.
It's true.
Ultimus means last.
Ultimus means the last, and penultimate means right before the last, which means second to last. Yeah. So apparently English is wrong, but I guess we all knew that.
I think it meant almost last was the
almost
actual
last,
Latin translation.
Nearly last. Yeah, but I need to like Gears of War more. I think I had a really bad experience. You know what? I remember why I don't like Gears of War.
What was that?
Same reason I don't like Dota. Same reason I don't like
Your roommate?
Halo.
Your roommate?
No.
Oh.
But well, that style of griefing and trolling people and screaming at them. Except back then it was very much in earnest. It wasn't trolling. It was, I hate you because you're not very good. I picked it up 3 months after Gears of War 2 came out.
I don't play games online.
All my friends were, and somebody actually bought me that game to play, back when I didn't have any money. And I was like, okay, I'll play it with you. And then they bought me Xbox Live even, and I was like, okay, I really have to play. And I played with him for 2 months, and it was 2 months of agony, of just being screamed at, being yelled at, being insulted. No, he didn't even talk on there, but by our teammates, by the enemy team, just nothing but fury and hatred. And I had to stop playing because it was literally actually depressing me.
Yeah, all of my experiences with online console play, I don't play a lot of online PC games, so I'm sure it's the same, is that the community is just toxic.
You know what's funny? It exists for sure, but it is not the standard for PC game. When we play MechWarrior, there'll be one guy sometimes who will be like, "Hey, well, fuck you, man," and then we'll all make fun of him, and whatever accent he has, we'll immediately imitate just to make him feel bad. And
but
then
I know like Dota, LOL, and Han all have toxic
Dota's
communities.
Real bad. But no, you know what? Every MechWarrior match starts with almost every single one. 07, which is somebody saluting. It's an emoticon, and then good luck, have fun. And then there's people going through, hey man, make sure you twist. Whenever they die, you can spectate someone and see exactly what they see, and you're like, oh man, to your left, there's a guy there. Nothing, really, it's 90% teamwork, and people being like, oh man, nice try, good job. And I'm like, I love this game.
That's cheating. That's cheating. Ghosting is morally wrong.
Well, I would rather have that than somebody being like, Berg. Mr. Burnham. You don't get that joke. Watch more Netflix.
Yeah.
All the Netflix.
Watch Bo Burnham.
All the comedy specials.
Yeah, I don't play. If I'm gonna play, if someone's gonna give me a game and they want to play with me, I'll play with them. But I won't do matchmaking and party.
I just played with them. But
yeah, I'll be like, I don't.
But they wanted to play online multiplayer.
Well, that's where I say have fun.
They're like my $120 investment though.
Yeah, that's the kind of game that it is.
I'll campaign with you, two player. But
he didn't want to campaign, and we played it on extreme, so I didn't get a good version of the game. But there's a part in Gears of War 2 where you're just on top of a giant moving vehicle, but you just have a machine gun, which was like, wow, what a waste of a giant moving vehicle. And then bats hit you, and it's so. I don't want to say it's poorly programmed, because it probably isn't. It's probably just the difficulty. But you just stand there, and all of a sudden you fall over. And there's, no indication that anything happened, and nobody's shooting at you. And so you're just like, why do I keep dying over and over again? And we never, ever, in 5 hours of trying to get past those checkpoints, never got past it, quit forever. So I had a bad experience with Gears of War, but I should probably try it again. I might try it again for the new one if people get it.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna not buy it, but I'll definitely rent. So.
Yeah. So if this is any indication, it's gonna be a long episode. Cause we're only on the first game.
You're going down the list. We had us pick the things we wanted to talk about, and now you're just going down the list.
One by one.
Well, yeah, we got to talk about E3, and then we're gonna finish off with what we like.
Oh, so we'll never get there.
Yeah. Killer.
Welcome to the
Killer
5-hour
Instinct.
episode.
All right, Killer Instinct.
Well, this one we could just gloss over. Killer Instinct. They announced it last year.
Maybe I love Killer Instinct. Maybe you aren't going to get to gloss over
Well, then
it.
you should have been on the Killer Instinct episode last year.
Is this a new Killer Instinct?
No, it's not. All they did was added Gears of War characters to Killer Instinct.
Okay.
And that got its whole segment on E3 for some reason.
Wow.
How long?
Oh, God, like 15 minutes.
That's not that bad.
That's more time than needed.
Yeah, but like in comparison
especially
to
since
everything else?
they started it with like a trailer, so I was like, "Is this a new Killer Instinct?" I had to Google it, and I was googling, and it was like, "Okay, so Killer Instinct, it doesn't have games; it has seasons." So
Right.
season 3, and so I initially put Killer Instinct
That's such
season
a thing
3
that
on
people
here.
are doing now. Seasons. To
Yeah.
pretend like they didn't release a partial game.
Yeah, so I initially had Killer Instinct season 3 listed here, and I was like, okay, trying to find a Killer Instinct season 3 trailer, and then I went back to the wiki page. I was like, oh, 2015, that was last year.
You know what? That's kind of unfair. Every game I've ever played that has seasons, I've liked.
It's a thing that they're all doing, and it makes me roll my eyes. But at the same time, when I'm like, this is year 2 of this game now, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
However,
there's
never
more
bought,
content.
I've never ever bought seasons one at a time. I've always waited
Bought the
until all
entire
of them
thing.
were out and then bought them all.
That's fair.
Here's one for Wes, Forza Horizon 3.
Yes, it's set in Australia.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, it was.
And I am personally pretty excited. I didn't like Forza Horizon 2, and so I didn't buy it because the trailer has you basically blasting through a farmer's wheat field in France. And I'm like, So, Forza Horizon, right? The very first one was mostly about not being a dick. Even though you guys were breaking laws, even though you guys were doing stuff, it was really supposed to be a celebration of car culture, appreciating the cars, and you guys went out to the middle of nowhere in order to have this fun event. Nowhere in France is in the middle of nowhere. And there's villages and things like that, and the thing is they're all modeled after semi-real places. They're all modeled after real places, but they're inspired by, or they have scenic landmarks, but it's obviously not.
It's not
one for one or anything. And I'm excited for Australia because once again that's back out to the middle of nowhere. And I mean, in France you were just tearing up places, and you were all like dude bros, and it's like they lost the sight of what Forza Horizon literally was one of maybe 3 influences that made me buy a hobby car and made me get into this. It really was. I mean, I could be cynical and be like, oh, I was affected by pop culture, man. But that's what pop culture is. It'll affect you.
Yeah.
There's a thing you'll finally latch on to, and it'll affect the course of what you do with your life. It's a thing. Star Wars does that to a lot of people, and we're getting a new generation of those fans. Who maybe won't be as cynical. Maybe that's why I'm so cynical. Since I grew up a Star Wars fan and then got hit by episode 1, 2, and 3 all back to back. But I'm really excited it's on Australia. I'm really excited by their new off-road mechanics that don't include just being blind and ramming your way through wheat fields. You would never go 100 miles per hour through a wheat field. You
might not.
Nobody
Forza
would.
drivers would.
No.
Forza 2 drivers would.
I guess so. But, you would never, ever,
No, I know.
ever do that. And that's like an arcade, which Forza Horizon is basically the arcade version of Forza.
Right.
But
you only got to trample the wheat once, though.
Yeah.
And then you can go 100 miles over the trampled wheat.
Not in that, not in that car.
That's slightly reasonable. But you don't drive blind. Especially in an area you don't know. It was just so, I don't want to say unrealistic, but unbelievable. None of it made sense. And the race coordinators, it's a festival. It's literally like South by Southwest or something, but for cars. Mm-hmm. And they would have you on the radio, and so they were course designers, and they'd be like, "Hey guys, go through this wheat field. Here we go." And you're like, "Really, guys? You're gonna get this whole festival shut down because we're literally destroying hundreds of thousands of dollars of wheat?" This is stupid. So hopefully they don't pull that. It doesn't look like they're going to. I'm excited.
So this is one of the games where they were really, really showing off the crossplay feature. They had a guy on Windows 10 with like a full racing car setup with a wheel and everything. They had another guy on Windows 10 with the Xbox controller.
It's going to be on PC?
Yeah, this is Play Anywhere with crossplay.
Ooh.
So they had another guy on the Xbox One and another guy
They
on
just
the Xbox
removed
One.
my reason for having an Xbox.
Yeah.
Literally, I bought Xbox One to play Forza.
Yep. This is Play Anywhere. It's releasing September 27th
You fools.
of this year.
When's it coming out?
September 27th of this year.
What, so 2 months?
There's actually quite a few of them that are coming
3
out.
months?
in,
I can't tell time. Time means nothing to people without jobs.
Yeah. There's actually quite a few things coming out this year. Recore, which is something that they kind of showed last year.
I watched the trailer for that.
I'm trying to remember it. I know I saw the Recore trailer. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
I can't tell if it's going to be good or not.
You have these robots that perform different functions, and you give them
do remember.
power ups.
I'm on the fence about that. I saw it. It seemed interesting. It looked like something that I created in like a Unity tutorial. So I'm not. That's exactly what it felt like. I was looking at it and I was like, these look like models I've seen before and actually are programmed to do things.
Yeah.
So
I remember last year looking at it and thinking it looked pretty. It was like sort of an action and adventure type trailer that they demoed.
Okay.
This year it was more of a puzzle platformer type trailer.
Right.
Because you have to use the robots to do things like climb this wall and
jump to the sky bridge thing.
Yeah. I liked it better.
Fun, it could be interesting. Like the gameplay might be just fine. I just remember seeing it and my initial impression was like powered by Unity. That's what it looked like, because I think I've seen a lot of those models and textures and how everything was playing. So
and it's pushing lady protagonists some more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
I'm still a little interested to see it, and a little bit of I kind of want to play it, but I hope that it's not too heavy on the puzzle platformer, because I wanted it to be more of sort of an adventure type game.
It looked kind of like the old games, right? Like Spyro and things like that.
Yeah,
that's what it was recognized. I definitely see the Unity in it. I don't even know if it has Unity in it.
I'm not sure it does. It probably doesn't, but it looked like it.
What was the PS3
specifically that
or PS4
tutorial
launch title game that had all of the it was a single word, and I can't remember it, and it had like a giant robot that was made of multiple little particle bits and things.
Oh, God, yeah. That was...
It reminded me of that.
That was Microsoft, wasn't it?
Was it? No, I'm pretty sure that was a PS4 launch title, like first party or something.
It was... I mean, I know which game you're talking about. I just don't remember the name either. I thought it was... It started with a C, didn't it?
No idea.
We'll look it up. And put it in the
we'll look it up. I don't.
It was a build. Basically, you had a robot that was made of building blocks.
And it was really funny because it's one of those games that's next gen, but at the same time not fun. And I mean, to be fair, I only played about 20 minutes of a demo of it. But demos are just, if you make a demo, you should make it the most fun part of your game.
Absolutely.
If you don't, you failed the purposes of a demo.
Right.
I miss demos. Do you know...
Well, there's a few games that have demos this year.
Someday we should talk about just demos. We can have a demo talk.
That'd
because I actually have a lot to talk about.
That'd actually be a good show, yeah.
I've got a lot of demo memories.
Yeah. Having grown up where most of the games I played were just the demos because I couldn't actually afford the games.
Yeah, that was a lot of my growing up, actually. Anyways, this game, the reason why I brought up that game is because Recore
it's
felt
got
like
that
it could
feel.
be
Yes,
that game.
It's got that feel. Because that one also had like a power core that was its main center health. And
right.
A
lot of stuff was going on the screen at the same time, too, in Recore. Mm-hmm. Like, a lot of stuff. And I was going, what am I looking at here?
September 13th, 2016 is the release date for Recore.
Okay. What consoles is that on? PS4 only?
We're still on Microsoft.
We're still at Xbox.
Oh my gosh,
we're still at Xbox.
Okay. We're almost done, though.
Yeah, so this next one I'm not interested in at all, so you can just leave me out of this conversation.
Final Fantasy 15.
Totally interested in this one.
We'll start with September 30th, 2016. Microsoft did a gameplay demo. Instead of a trailer, they did a gameplay demo of them fighting one of the giant titans, which I don't believe... it was a segment of the battle, too. Like, they didn't finish the fight either, but they showed off a lot of the, the fighting mechanics and stuff like that.
From what?
Final Fantasy 15.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, are we actually skipping the thing? that Miguel?
No, this is the next thing.
It was a joke.
He was
okay.
joking.
It was a joke.
Okay, gotcha.
It was a total joke.
They did a gameplay trailer, and it looked really good. I didn't put the gameplay trailer in here. I think you ended up with just an actual trailer.
Yeah.
But it looked really fun. He was jumping around the Titan, like just comes in and just sweeps across the landscape and does all this other stuff. I think the trailer that I put in there was the one where he's throwing a rock, though.
Didn't
I don't know
watch
if y'all
it.
watched it.
I watched it.
I'm still not watching all Final Fantasy 15 things.
I will
That's
say,
fair. I know you're excited about going
I'm gonna
on this
watch
road trip
all of those things
after
I play the game.
Yeah.
the one thing that I'm really glad that they're doing, though, of all the things that they've released, because they've got the anime, they've got the
road trip.
demos, they've
road
got
trip.
of all the things that they're releasing, they have not spoiled anything. Nothing that they've released is story or
You know what they
any
did
key
spoil?
points or anything. All that they've done is release
Road trip?
mechanics.
You know but you know what? Sometimes mechanics are exciting to stumble upon too, like
I can do this thing.
the flying car.
Yeah, flying car.
Man,
I didn't know there was a flying car.
well,
Well, you
it's
just got
in,
spoiled like the rest of us.
How do you not know if
No,
you've watched
you've been
any
watching
of the trailers?
everything.
I haven't watched any of the trailers.
Oh, well, we just spoiled it for you.
Well, welcome to my spoilage. You're on the same level as me
I've
now.
skimmed trailers, and mostly all I've seen is the stuff that's
To
at
be
E3.
fair, people know I'm excited about it, and then somebody will just come out and be like, "Hey man, did you see that there's a car that flies?" And I'm like, "Fuck you! Why? Why do people do this to me?"
It doesn't fly in the anime.
Okay.
So they haven't talked at all about like anything in the story other than the basic premise, which is what you get from reading the back of the box. You know, like stuff's happening and they're on a road trip.
Speaking of Final Fantasy 15 and another game that's further down on our list that I forgot the name of, Tokyo something?
Oh, Tokyo Mirage.
Mirage?
They made sure every time they said it to say Tokyo Mirage Sharp FE.
Sharp FE?
Yep.
What, like Sharp Iron?
It's a hash, and they kept saying Sharp FE.
Okay. Sharp Iron. That's what I'm going to call it.
You mean hashtag iron?
Is it capital F lowercase e or is
No.
it capital
Well,
F E?
To be fair, on this it's lowercase, but he doesn't know how to use words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Tokyo Mirage. Oh, I just put everything in lowercase. I don't know what it was actually.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking
Well,
at it.
because
They didn't put it on the screen. They just kept saying it.
Okay.
Sharp FE.
Sharp FE.
Weird. So, anyways,
Hashtag iron.
one of my little tiny complaints about character design these days, and you know what? It's Japan. I feel like Japanese developers as a whole, especially ones who have been in the business for a while, but other ones too, I feel like they're really fighting against what America's going through right now, and France and Europe, of, there's that, like, fourth or fifth wave, I can't remember the actual, what it's called, of feminism, where, we're actually getting some decent female characters. The new Lara Croft is fantastic, and, she's attractive, while at the same time, that's not what she's about. It's not like, who is that character? Well, she's tits with guns. I'm like,
Oh,
okay.
you mean Bayonetta?
Yeah, really.
Those tits have a name?
Those tits have a name, excuse me. But I feel like Japanese developers are not on board with this notion, because you get, Kojima with Quiet, which is just a troll to those people.
Yeah.
It is nothing else. Whatever he says, he was just trolling people who complain about how his female characters go. And he's like, oh yeah?
Look what I'm going to
Basically
do.
naked woman who can't talk. Ha? Ha ha ha.
I think we did a whole episode on that already.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
So, continuing on, in that one and in the new Final Fantasy, both of them have this weird thing where I think it's them kind of pulling, they're like, oh, here's a compromise. We're going to have them not be in a skirt, not in a thong, but they are going to have strappy underwear that you can see above their shorts.
I haven't seen the girl in the new Final Fantasy.
Sid? Sid's a girl now.
Oh.
And
You're spoiling more things for Brandon.
Wait,
Why do I know?
Hold on.
I don't want to know these things.
Oh, that
I'll
was
stop
Sid.
talking about it if
Yeah.
you don't want to know
Okay,
any of it.
she was in the PS4 demo, but
Yeah, I'm sure.
it wasn't a demo.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that when we get to Sony, but I didn't know that was Sid because
Oh.
I skimmed through it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
That's it.
feel free to
She
tell
didn't
me
look
not
that
to talk
skimpy,
about
though. She
anything
looked-
I know anymore.
She reminded me more of like a Riku. I mean, but with
Riku
warmer
also.
clothes.
Well,
Like
which
like
Riku?
a warmer dressed
1 or
Riku.
2?
10.
10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't recognize your 10 twos.
Her underwear also sticks out in the
Yes,
HD
I
version.
know.
What's the deal?
I didn't
What's the
notice.
deal?
I didn't notice Sid's
Why?
underwear sticking out.
Now, the irony is that my underwear is currently doing that. That's the joke I had.
Yeah.
But I am not...
My underwear is always doing that.
Yeah.
You know.
My
So
shorts
don't
don't
slut
fit.
shame me.
Look, maybe you've got it backwards. Maybe Japan is just envisioning a more progressive society where women can dress however they want.
To be fair, the dudes are as sexualized as the men who make the game think they can be.
Yeah.
Which excites Wes to no end.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're fair. If everybody is super sexy by the other gender standards, not your own, like
Right.
Dragon's Crown, right?
Yeah,
Dragon's
yeah.
Crown is definitely all one dude's vision of what attractive is, and the dudes are like grotesque. I don't think very many ladies thought that the giant, like way wider than he is tall, muscle-bound maniac was very attractive. But then again, I didn't think the sorceress was very attractive either. She looked like she had giant balloons that were overinflated, that were really causing her problems.
Everything looked like those giant balloons. Some of them were just shaped differently. It was just...
I actually really liked the style, though. Still, the elf I thought was really cool looking.
Okay.
So, continue on with things
so
I'm not talking about.
Next
these are-
on the list, I don't know. This was sort of glossed over in the presentation, and we're gonna gloss over
Because
it
it's
too.
just DLC.
Yeah, Tom Clancy's The Underground DLC,
Meh.
which
For
I
the
didn't.
Division. For
I
the
didn't even-
Division.
yeah,
Say the game.
I did say Tom Clancy's The Division Underground.
No, you said Tom Clancy's The Underground
Oh,
DLC.
Okay, The Division.
totally skipped the
Underground
game
DLC. They showed the trailer and then didn't talk about it. I didn't even know that it was DLC and not a whole game until I was wikiing it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I had a lot of people tell me I should play The Division. I still haven't picked it up. I've watched some videos of it, and I'm just
I
not
played it.
not that interested. How was it?
It's one of those ones that I would call Game of the Week,
Gotcha.
right? Which was Titanfall also.
Sadly.
Almost every Call of Duty is like that. It's a game that I feel like people who are modern gamers pick up. They're excited by some new mechanics, some new ideas. They play through it for, even though I call it of the week, they'll probably play it for a month
Or two.
if they don't play it every day, and then they're done forever
Ever.
and forget about it. So
Next on the list is... Oh, yeah, I don't have a release date for that either. Oh, well. Next on the list is Battlefield 1. Not Battlefield 1, but Battlefield 1.
yeah.
Right.
Which takes
Well-
place in World War One.
To be fair, at least the first Battlefield had a name, 1942.
Right.
So you can call it, but God, what is with this one nonsense? Xbox One,
One.
Battlefield 1.
Well, one for World War One, I guess, but they should have just called it Battlefield World War One or something like.
You could have come up with a better name.
You
Yeah.
come up with a name.
A
Like,
name.
like
yeah.
if anyone's ever had a name after theirs, they have. So.
War One actually would have been a better name to me.
Yeah.
You don't even have to say World War, just War.
Yeah, so I took some notes. Dynamic weather was one of their buzzwords.
Yeah, I didn't add it to my list of things I was excited about, but I'm definitely going to play it.
I am excited about it.
Yeah, I was excited about it when I heard it. Seeing the trailer, I'm like, okay, it's something I need to
Trailer
play.
looked all right.
Yeah.
It's Zeppelins, World War
Yeah,
One
that was really
forces.
cool.
Those were the things I wrote down from the trailer.
Yeah. No, I'm just excited. It's just such a totally different take, and finally somebody is going after World War One. I've actually, I mean, there's like Verdun and a couple of other games that have attempted to do World War One, but one of the primary 1942 mods was a World War One mod. I can't remember it now. All the names blend together to me. Like one of them's like Lost something, Paradise Lost or something, but I think that's actually Vietnam. But the Vietnam mod was also really good, and the Desert Combat mod turned into Battlefield 2. So, successful mods sort of show what players want, I think. And so, honestly, following your modders is a fantastic idea that, like, Valve does, and they just keep accruing new giant successful franchises by continuing to implement mods. Look at your modders and pay attention to them, and enable them.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. That's about all I have to say.
Yeah. Next is, and Miguel, since you're the Xboxer here, you're gonna have to fill me in on some of these. The next is they talked about Xbox Live. I don't have Xbox Live, and they were very unclear. I don't know how many of these things are new features, or were they just reiterating things that they added already. But they talked about having background music.
Yeah, you can't do that like you can on the PS4, which is something that I've wanted because...
Okay, so that's one of the things that they're adding. Then.
Well, I'm in the middle of like a first-person shooter. I'm like, man, I could be listening to like a really rocking soundtrack right now and blowing people up.
Wow, we're going all the way back to the original Xbox, huh?
Yeah.
That literally had it in box immediately.
Yeah.
Really?
You could do it on...
I don't remember
on that thing,
yeah.
right there.
It wasn't every game.
No, it wasn't.
The games had to have...
I remember
have
some of the
support.
games having support for it,
Yes.
like Grand Theft Auto.
The game had to have
Grand
support.
Theft Auto type games.
Grand Theft Auto... Well, no, Desert Storm had it, and when I realized that, it was like my favorite thing ever.
All right,
It
so
really
this is an OS feature now, so you can
do it
regardless of the game.
Of the game, it'll be there playing as well.
Language region independence. So now you don't have to buy a Japanese Xbox to have your Xbox be in Japanese.
Okay.
You can just pick the language that you speak now.
I didn't realize that was an issue.
No, it seems fine.
I can see how I didn't know it was an issue.
Yeah.
Like I see how it's important.
It's
Yes,
not region
absolutely.
independence, though. It's still region law.
Right, just
I'm sure.
You can just pick your language now.
That's
That
fair.
seems reasonable.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Seems like
I
you should
didn't
have
realize
that.
that wasn't a thing.
Cortana is now on Xbox.
I didn't
I
know
don't
that.
care.
So she can. Well,
It's interesting, but I didn't realize it. I like Cortana on 10.
some of the more betterer things. They now have a new feature called Clubs, where you can make your own community.
But does it constantly say, in the club, yeah, you're in the club?
They didn't
Because
demo
if they're
that.
not doing that, they're not pandering to me.
They didn't demo that.
that trailer, man. That trailer.
What trailer was it even for? I didn't see it. I just
when the
heard
name
it.
comes up, I'll
Okay,
recognize it.
we'll circle around.
But yeah, so it's essentially the same thing as your Steam communities or whatever. You create a little group, and you can bring all your friends and stuff, and you have little groups of people that you can do stuff with.
What is it, PlayStation Home 2.0?
So instead of
PlayStation Home is a virtual community. This is just a billboard.
Oh, okay. So it's even less work.
Yeah, it's like a
Not that PlayStation Home was good at all.
Right.
And then a new feature that they call looking for group, where you can look for groups to join
Okay.
for games. Which I guess is like matchmaking, but instead of getting thrown into the middle of a match, you can say, I just want a group of friends to play with. And then
you
can join
looking
a
to
group.
like join like a party. I guess, at that point. So-
and then go
and
to
then
different
that
games.
party can
Yeah.
go matchmake or whatever.
yeah,
but
so you're still playing with the same
That
people.
seems reasonable to me.
I would love to do that with Battlefront, just so that I can actually get people I can talk with and actually do strategy. Because if you're going into some of those multiplayer types without a party,
That sounds nice.
it would be just.
Also, Arena Tournament. They've got a new tournament platform called Arena, so you can make and design brackets and do all that other stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Which you might like for your racing games, and the people who like sports ball would probably like those kinds of things too.
Yeah,
Or even just
I don't
first
play
person
online at all.
Or even just first person. If you play online, you want to do something like that. Actually, I actually think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like if you have a big group of friends or whatever, you can design a bracket and be like, "All right, guys, we're tournamenting. Yay!"
Yeah, it seems cool.
Or if you're at some sort of event where you actually have like gaming going on and you're gonna do a tournament, you can actually have it natively supported in there.
Yeah, they gave a very non-committal EA thing to that. They said EA will be bringing their games like FIFA, will be bringing some of their games like FIFA to Arena support. in the coming years.
Years.
Plural.
Oh my gosh.
Like, that didn't even sound like they were going to be releasing all of their new games with arena support. They're just like, they might bring it sometime
Someday.
in the far future.
In the very, very distant
Somewhere
future.
out there.
We talked about the Minecraft friendly update
Yeah,
already.
I'm not sure if there's much to go over about that since we already talked about it.
Right. I mean, the only thing that I have listed here is awkward because it was awkward. Xbox Design Lab.
Whoop whoop! Design Lab. I get to have a pink and green controller now.
That's a very broad name for a
Did you
very
see it?
specific thing. They call it Xbox Design Lab, but it lets you design a controller, and that's it.
Kill me.
It's got, I think, 8 or 12 colors you can choose from.
No, it's over 8 million combinations.
Bro.
Of 12 colors
They're not all the same
and
in all,
5
they're
locations.
Not, they're not all the same in all the options.
How expensive is it?
86
Oh my
$76.
God.
Yeah, it's like 80. Yeah, $80.
That is twice as much as I would pay for that.
Yeah, they're
I
not
was
even.
It's really weird because
They're not even Xbox.
was good because
they're
I
not
think the
even
Xbox controller
Elite
is like
colors.
$60 anyway.
Yeah.
So
I know.
Yeah,
I would pay $30 for that.
they're not
This is
even
why I
the
have
Elite
one.
controllers.
I know. Trust me, I understand.
So also,
It didn't save my options. I had a cool one.
From there, they started talking
That's
about
cool.
the ID at Xbox, which is their indie lab. I don't know what you call that. Their indie initiative.
Which isn't, by definition, indie.
Yeah. Well, that's just them helping you publish on their ridiculously expensive publishing.
The thing
platform.
about being independent is you publish yourself. That's the word, indie.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's their. We're going to give you a lower publishing price in exchange for you conforming to all of our rules.
This seems like the worst. It seems like nobody should do that.
The Inside is a new indie game. It's a 2D platformer, which Weston says he's burned out on.
I do dislike
It's made.
indie side-scrolling 2D
Yeah.
games. For some reason they all feel very similar to me. Even like crazy ones like Mark of the Ninja and Flood was one that I played, and
I think I
Breakpoint I think is another one. And
played Mark of the Ninja.
and
Yeah.
they're all very different from each other,
They
and
are,
yet
yeah.
still at the same time they all feel very, very similar to me. And
Yeah.
whenever I play one, I'm like, oh, this one is that with this mechanic.
Gotcha.
Even though that's not really fair to them, but it's how I feel when I play them. And then of course I was saying, I was talking about how I was wrong because I just said the words I don't like 2D side scrollers, which I'm like, oh, Super Mario World, and then look what's in front of me.
Yeah.
Right here,
yeah.
Rogue Legacy,
Rouge Legacy.
which is fantastic. So, I guess I just don't like those games.
So Inside is by the makers of Limbo. It's got that very stylized aesthetic.
What's that guy's name? Brad?
Who knows? It comes out on June 29th this year, pretty soon.
I'm so bad with names.
And to commemorate Inside, or to celebrate Inside being released, Limbo is free to all Xbox One players.
Okay.
Cool.
Or Xbox One owners.
That's it. The whole free games thing has been interesting.
Uh,
It'd be a good time to be a kid, I feel like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Having a free new game
Yeah.
every month.
multiple free new games.
Right.
Yeah.
Even.
Good-
I
good time
downloaded
to-
all of them and I've maybe liked one of them. I did just get Ghost
Still-
Simulator for free.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really big incentive to keep you on the subscription platform too.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you stop paying for it, you lose all your free games. So they did like a show reel. They didn't talk about any of these. They did a show reel of all of the ID at Xbox games that I think are coming out soon. I'm just going to name them. Y'all probably don't know any of these.
I know one already. I see. Like if people don't know it,
Cuphead, which is one of the ones that I'm
Yeah.
super excited
you're
for.
super excited about that. I don't even know what it is.
Outlast, Deliver Us, The
I know
Moon,
Outlast.
which looked pretty interesting. Flint Hook looked pretty interesting.
Outlast being the horror one? Okay.
I think so.
It's the horror one.
Okay.
Far, Slime Rancher, which is out on Steam already. Shadow Tactics, Figment, The Culling.
I was really excited about the culling. Like I was watching that when they were doing their beta.
Wait, I thought brief me on the culling again, because I think I liked it, but I can't remember.
The culling is like...
It's like a killing game.
Yeah, it's...
Killing game.
Well, everyone's like dropped into like an arena, like a field.
Oh.
And
It's Hunger Games style, right?
Yeah, you
There's
buy
like
upgrades,
What's
and
the
everyone's trying to
Japanese
fight
show?
each other.
Battle
Yeah.
Royale.
Battle Royale.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Battle
Battle
Royale.
Royale.
There's
essentially.
a cornucopia in the center, and you can go. And
I was
do
watching
other
the beta of that, and they were super excited when they were just like at the end of the beta, we have an announcement. Oh, it's open now. Just go get the game.
Yeah.
I was going to say, oh, who's the creator of Limbo in those games? Oh, Brad McQuaid. Do you know who Brad McQuaid is?
No.
Of course you don't. It's an EverQuest designer
Yeah.
that like hasn't been in headlines for like 13 years.
Oh, yeah.
Like why did I think it was Brad McQuaid? Sorry, I'm just an idiot and thought I had to highlight that.
For the King, Beacon, Stardew Valley, which I'm surprised to
ID
hear
at
is
Xbox.
coming out this quickly. Also, I think that would be kind of interesting on a console.
I played it with a controller. What's the difference?
I don't know. Those kinds of games are like point and clicking because you do a lot of inventory management and stuff like that. I don't know.
It's yeah. I mean, Harvest Moon, and all that is originally
Yeah, I know.
console works that
Yeah.
way, so it wasn't a big difference to me.
Hand of Fate 2, Below, Raiders, Bloodstained, Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah, that's
game?
coming out.
What's ukulele?
That's
Yooka-Laylee
the
is-
spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
Yes, and more than spiritual, I would
Yeah,
say.
It's by the same people, and it's just because they didn't have the rights to Banjo-Kazooie.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my god. Okay.
So isn't
Some
that
of the
this-
new music is like incredible and good and it evokes all those feelings, and some of it is literally the music from Banjo Kazooie. At least some of the demo tracks he did. Like, people are like, wow, it's just like Banjo Kazooie. And I was like, no, that track is an obscure track from Banjo Tooie that wasn't played for very long, but it's the exact same song almost.
Yeah.
It's like a 2 notes difference.
So Google says March 2017 for that one. And then there's Everspace.
What's Everspace?
No idea.
I only am interested because it sounds like EverQuest.
All of these things were given like 5 seconds of show real time. It's a space game. It looks like.
It looks like something I would jump into.
Yeah, it looks
turn
interesting.
this so that he can see it.
It looks like Elite Dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. So yeah,
Might have to check.
That was their
look into it
that
more.
was their ID at Xbox Showreel, which I had to I kept pausing. I was like, "What's the name of this? What's the name?"
Yeah.
They always had them in tiny boxes in the corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Arc isn't new, but
No.
it is getting an update that will allow it
Play
to
anywhere.
play anywhere.
Let's play anywhere.
That's the thing where you can play it on PC or Xbox.
Oh, crossplay. Okay.
No. Crossplay is you can play with PC and Xbox people. Play anywhere.
Oh my god,
you can
these
play
terms just kill me.
It. Yeah.
I got it.
I don't know that I think that one isn't getting crossplay, but it is getting play anywhere.
Okay.
We Happy Few, which is you kept relating it to. It's got a very BioShock feel to it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty heavy.
Yeah. Actually, I see that a lot.
yeah, this is another indie.
I'm
game.
interested in this one.
It doesn't mean I'm disinterested in it.
You
but,
just see it and you're like-
but I definitely see the cues they took from BioShock.
Yeah, it's got a lot of that. More of a BioShock, like the feel of the
Character
graphics
models,
and
the
character
animations,
more of a BioShock Infinite feel
The
to it.
style.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything you look at. If they had told me this was a BioShock game, I would have been like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it had that sort of smoothness that BioShock Infinite had to the look and feel also.
Smoothness.
Yeah. Like, all the stuff in BioShock Infinite felt smooth, like the vending machines and the people had sort of no real rough edges to them.
Maybe.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do kind of get.
I think I get it.
Yeah. The Gwent, the card
Gwent.
game.
Oh
Again.
yeah, I'm excited.
Which I didn't know that The Witcher counted as an indie game.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red.
Mhm.
It's just them by themselves.
Yeah,
They're
but I
crazy.
didn't realize that they were an indie studio.
I've only
'cause
played-
It's a really popular game.
I've only played one game of Gwent in The Witcher. The very first tutorial one.
That one was awful.
Okay, good, because no, in Witcher 3, the very
Yeah.
first tutorial game. That one
Yeah.
is bad
Yeah.
because I hate Gwent from that game.
No, I
Like when I saw this and Carter was talking about it, I was like,
No,
are you mental? Because Gwent's terrible.
No, I personally didn't like Gwent in the tutorial, especially because they made it seem like there weren't very many possibilities and that it was a really limited scope.
Yeah. I know that I can get other cards.
And that you totally
stuff.
just bank off of your heroes. And once the game progresses to where you actually have the cards available to you, it is a fantastic game. It is.
Okay.
It is. I say this all the time. It is my favorite card game.
Period? Like full stop? Like even in like real life?
I would say so.
Wow.
You could bring up
More
some,
than
and I
that
might
card
be
game
like,
from Final Fantasy VIII?
God, yeah. God, yeah.
So I've never played Gwent, but what they said was that they've made a lot of improvements and refinements to the rules and the play of the game.
Yeah.
So it is now much more a real card game with a real rule set and real strategy.
I hope that they haven't tried to make it like Magic.
The play field and the play style did not look anything like Magic from what they demoed.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
I hope they didn't change it.
But
saw-
I don't know how to play Gwent.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. The playfield looks just like it
Okay.
does.
It's got
There's
the-
no
it's
it's
change
like
there.
6
Like
rows
three-
or whatever.
melee
Yeah,
and-
six rows
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think
man,
they've changed anything to the mechanics of like the base mechanics of it.
I really like it. Now, it's pretty, if you're a Magic player, you'll instantly see all of the combinations that you can do in
once
the
you
first,
have the-
10 minutes.
Once you have the cards and things.
Yeah, but...
Like I literally had like 5 weather cards in my hand during that tutorial, and I was like,
you got screwed then. You shouldn't even have 5 in your deck. So...
maybe it was 4, but it was definitely more than I needed because
No, they put them in there. I'm saying, I take
You said
2
you
in
shouldn't.
my deck.
You shouldn't
Yeah.
have that many. Yeah, it was definitely a kind of like you're gonna get screwed in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on, we've got Tekken 7.
I forgot to add that I will play the crap out of Tekken 7. So
I'll play it with you.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, that's fair. And I know you guys aren't fighter game.
No,
guys.
I'm not a fighter. But Tekken was probably the one I grew up playing.
Yeah.
It's more
Although I didn't
technical,
own it,
so
I
it's
just played it at
yeah.
friends.
Releasing early 2017. I think the main feature that they were showing off was cinematic transitions for, I guess, story mode or something. So you pretty much go from a movie, and then like the movie, they start a fight, and then you're in the fight, and like that's the start of the fight. So you don't have that ready, go, and just, I don't know. That was the main thing that they were showing off, was they kept doing these cinematic, like the story mode, I guess, is more cinematic.
That is a feature. I think that's just a choice.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't see it. Though.
And then the other note that I have listed here is guy in Japanese robe wears glasses inside while playing demo. Looks like a douche.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all saw his
Somebody's
presentation.
racist. I'm just
No,
kidding.
I only had time to watch trailers for the things that were coming out.
Yeah,
I didn't get to watch the whole
I didn't watch
presentation.
any
I'm
presentations.
not sure how
He-
you were
he
able
was-
to watch all of this.
I watched
Stayed
them
up
all last night.
Yeah.
I can't believe how you watched them
Yeah,
all
that's
last
crazy.
night.
This is how dedicated Brandon is to you people.
'Cause you guys
and how
wouldn't.
not dedicated we are.
I would.
Yeah.
That's just not in the time frame that was given with what I had to do this week.
I'll tell you what, I didn't watch the Nintendo one because that was literally 2 days worth of video. They didn't. Oh god, we'll talk about that when we get to that.
I mean, yeah, what I was trying to
But,
say
yeah.
earlier, commensurate to the 15 minutes of DLC discussion, or was it DLC? It was something. It doesn't matter. When you get 10 hours to one game, I think that was a fairly
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that scales.
it's
That's scaled appropriately.
Yeah. Dead Rising 4. Did y'all play any of the Dead Risings?
I played the second one. I think.
I have one. Dead Rising 1.
I played the first one, which suffered massively from if you didn't have an HD TV, you couldn't read the text. You literally couldn't. It was too fuzzy.
Bad UI scaling.
And then when you did have an HD TV, you had to sit right up against it and just squint, unless you had a very specific aspect ratio. So we had an old TV, and I couldn't read anything at all that existed in that game. But luckily it was all voice acted. But I really liked the original Dead Rising.
Yeah.
And then I've heard not very good things about it since. But if somebody else got it, Miguel, I would play it.
It looks pretty fun. I mean, Dead Rising
It looked good.
is the
looked
sort
interesting.
of hack and slash silly zombie in a mall
I
game.
wouldn't call it hack and slash. I don't think that's...
There's a lot of hacking and slashing.
Yeah, but it's very... it's... Hack
I
and
get what
slash
you're
is where you
saying.
just point in a direction, you press X, and then you kill like 8 guys.
Yeah.
This is like your weapons have a very finite amount of uses. You're gonna run away like 90% of the time. Hack and slash is not running away.
Dynasty
guess,
Warriors is hack and slash. I
Yeah,
have a sword and I just keep hitting X. I spam it until I'm at the end of the level.
It's still got that silly feel to it, where you just picking
Yeah,
up
for sure.
weird weapons and stuff.
You know, it's funny. You can play it not like that at all.
Yeah.
But that's what that was one of the things that always made me sad when they showed Dead Rising 2, Dead Rising 3, and why I've never picked them up. It's because they show him with a Lego Man head on, or not the Lego Man, the Mega Man,
The surf
bots.
Yeah.
With their head on, and then he's in some girl's dress, and then he's beating them with like a pink bat or something, and I'm like, that's not what Dead Rising was to me. It was goofy and it had goofy moments, and I enjoyed them. But I wasn't like just totally a ridiculous, insane person running around a mall. I was like taking it seriously and taking pictures and being like, yeah, I'm this journalist.
I'm a journalist, right?
You know, and I'm trying to do this. And then in the second one, it starts out with because I got it for free, right? On Xbox, and it starts out with you like you kill zombies for literally entertainment of other people in like a death ball, and the entire zombie outbreak has now become an entertainment industry of murdering things. And it was like, but it was just funny instead of it being like, wow, that's incredibly sad. You know, it was just like, haha, and I was like, oh, is this the tone? I don't like this anymore.
Weird. Yeah. So yeah, this one looked pretty fun. The trailer was very Christmas themed and had Christmas music.
Yeah, Christmas.
So we're pulling a Die Hard.
Yeah,
nice.
It was super, and I was like, it's June. Why is this so heavily Christmas themed? Releasing holiday season 2016.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that.
Scalebound. Did y'all watch that trailer?
I did.
No.
My only comment here was dragons. Oh my.
Okay.
It's a I guess I don't know if high fantasy is the word because I didn't see any like magic or anything, but it's dragons and dragon knights, I guess.
Other elves.
You don't see them.
I didn't see that.
It's sort of a mix of like fantasy and tech too, because the guy's got like a Walkman headphone on.
Okay.
I didn't see any guns or anything. He had bows, he had swords, he had dragons and fireballs and I guess bombs. But it was in a trailer so much as a gameplay demo of a group of I think 4 people with dragons fighting a giant boss. I think they said it was like one of their biggest boss fights in the game. It looked really good. I'm interested to try it. So.
It didn't make my list.
They did not talk at all about what the story or game is about.
Yeah.
They were just like dragons, yay! And you get to fly around in the dragons and shoot things. Yeah.
I didn't add it to my list of things. I was kind of on the fence about it. It was mostly because I saw it last night and then made most of my list today. Yeah. So I'll just play it here. Just
immediately, I saw this protagonist and I was like, lame.
Yeah, I was still on the fence, like even about it. I would check it out.
Walkman.
He's got like Beats by Dre headphones.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, he should have Soul Republic headphones. Loser.
Let's see. Next is
you should. It's technology.
His like arm
he's got like a dragon arm too. Yeah,
he's bound by scales. He's scale bound.
Yeah.
Also, he's on a dragon, so bound on scales. It's great. And then if a dragon ties him up, he's bound by scales.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. Wait till he rides a dragon.
Wow, that's ugly.
It's like a giant crab or something. I don't know.
Who's this by?
I didn't write that down.
It looks like the Lost Planet guys.
It's by Platinum Games.
Yeah. So now riding the dragon to fight.
I think it's more of their indie.
The trip scorpions.
The weird crab scorpion thing.
Yeah.
So next is Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah,
I was excited about Sea of Thieves. I did not like the video that I watched of it.
No. The trailer you linked us.
Which trailer did I link to?
The one of like awkward people playing it, being awkward while they're playing it.
That was the gameplay reveal. That was the E3. That was
yeah.
Which I put in my notes. Awkward group of randos play in quotes for the first time.
Yeah. Like, oh, we're supposed to do this thing. Why don't we try doing this thing? Everyone does the thing.
Yeah. Right. It looked fun and interesting.
It looked interesting though. I would play that.
They didn't get a good demo
going.
Despite
the people playing it, it looked fun.
So since I don't think we've adequately described it, it is like Pirate Simulator. Let's essentially what the game is.
Let's give it the correct description that they gave it. It's emergent experience with limitless adventure.
It's Pirate Simulator.
It is. It's Pirate
So
Simulator.
it seems really cool because it's not heavily PvP, but you can have PvP aspects.
Yeah.
And you run around on a ship together, your ship together.
Have y'all ever played Guns of Icarus?
I played it.
Wanted to.
I own it.
And I've looked at it a lot.
Yeah. It reminds me sort of the Guns of Icarus, where everyone on the ship sort of serves a purpose, keeping the ship afloat, directing it. Someone's attacking, someone's steering, someone's pulling down the mast and stuff like that. It's more immersive in that way, which I like.
I love that idea, but the reason why I never wanted to get into Guns of Icarus is because it was just battle, and that's it.
Yeah,
and
so this one is more than that.
Yeah, exploration.
So if you're like, Guns of Icarus looked cool, but there's no game other than killing each other. This is where you actually, I think you have progression too with your ships, and you can go explore islands and
the only thing is
stuff.
This looks like the kind of game that to really have fun with it, you need a group of good friends. Not a group of randos on the internet that you don't know, because that's the problem with Guns of Icarus is you'll be like, well, someone needs to man the mast, and everyone's like, not me, man, that's boring.
I love boring
I'm
guns.
gonna get on the steering wheel. Like, you got 5 people fighting over the steering wheel, and no one's shooting or doing this or that. And
that'd be dumb.
That's why you need to play with a group of friends who's going to actually
right.
take them on the different roles, and then you can trade out. To be fair,
or what is it?
We are
still in Microsoft.
Oh my God.
We are almost done. We have 2 more things.
Yeah.
State of Decay, another zombie game. That's sort of
another zombie game.
Another zombie. I was on the fence of putting it on there, but just kind of like it's another zombie thing.
You can tell I was burned out on zombies because I just wrote zombies and shit on this. Halo Wars 2 is one that I am optimistic about.
Yeah.
I'm because Halo Wars, it's Halo Wars. It's an RTS. The problem with Halo Wars 1 was it was very limited. Small maps, small number of units, small buildings.
It's because it was on
bad
console.
To your progression. Yeah.
They were really... I honestly felt
so
like
they were just trying to cram it into the 360, and they're like, well, how do you make a console RTS? Like, don't have too much to manage.
To be fair, they did a good job. I really enjoyed it.
I didn't like it, but I didn't like it because I'm a big RTS fan, and I felt that it was lacking all the stuff I loved about RTSs.
I felt like it was a different RTS. Rather than trying to be Halo in an RTS,
say that, but
like Command and Conquer form.
So there were other console RTSs that I felt did it really well. Warzone 2100 on the PlayStation 1.
Never heard of it.
Was really fun.
I remember that one.
AVP on the PlayStation 2.
What, Alien vs. Predator?
AVP had an RTS.
Okay, I only know actual AVP.
Yeah. I was about to ask you. I was like, I'm pretty sure I played that, and it wasn't an RTS, unless you're confused about what an RTS is.
They had an RTS, AVP Extinction.
Asymmetric shooter?
AVP Extinction for the PlayStation 2.
Okay, Extinction. I did not play that.
I'm going to break the fourth wall here and wonder why I keep peeking so hard. Sorry, listeners.
Oh, that's mostly Magellan is laughing.
Oh, it's not me.
It's because he's right in front of the mic, so that's why I wrote this at the top here. Normal talking voice, a little lower.
I didn't see that.
It's just peaking really hard for some reason right now.
It's fine. It's not peaking.
It's not peaking
until
it's beyond
it hits
that.
here.
Yeah, that's not the
edge.
That's why I went past it.
We'll do it in post.
This is a little behind the scenes, guys.
Yeah, it's not distorted at that stage. It's just loud.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm a little excited about Halo Wars Play Anywhere. I don't know that it has cross-play. They have a new faction called the Banished, which looked pretty interesting.
I did actually see something. I didn't recognize what it was in their trailer.
I already don't recognize anyone in Halo, so...
Yeah.
And then, this was definitely super different.
And then the buzzwords that they put on the screen were biggest Halo battlefield ever. Sure, okay. I can believe that. Yeah. And massive armies. So I'm really hoping that it's better than Halo 1.
You used the
Halo
term
Wars
massive,
1.
guys. You better sell it.
Right.
Oh, it's 20 on 20, guys.
Yeah, really? You can have 4 Spartans out at the same time.
And then the only thing I have left written here for the Microsoft one was Phil Spencer looks like a dude bro. Very unprofessional. Walked out, in his dude bro outfit. But that's because they're the chill hip company, so whatever.
Honestly, You go to GDC, that's 100%
everyone. Yeah.
That's just what it is now.
But again, GDC is a developer conference. They don't need to look professional. They're doing,
Are you kidding me? They're
tech demos and talks.
No, that's the only time they care about being professional because they're in front of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Seriously, like they take it very professionally at GDC. They still all look like that.
Yeah, and then they finished it off with a segment of marketer crap. Play without boundaries, uniting gamers wherever they play.
I like this next one.
A place where gaming is for everyone who fucks your mom.
That made me laugh a lot last night.
Why did you?
They just said we want our live community, and we want to make a community where it's a place for gamers and a place for everyone to game and a place for everyone to be together. And I was like, yeah, but really it's a place for everyone who fucks your mom.
yeah, that is adequate of the current space. Maybe they'll actually do something. I saw in one of these presentations for Sony. Which
is next?
Okay,
yeah,
I'm just.
We're about to get to it.
I'm going to it.
Well, we're done with Microsoft.
Yeah,
Good.
that's it.
All right, here
that's
we
it.
go. I'm forcing it.
Yeah.
That in the new Gran Turismo, which I am excited about because maybe it'll be a real new game instead of the
There's no
other
GT
one, which
on
was
there.
half an old game.
Yeah, GT wasn't in the E3 presentation.
Well, I saw information about it anyways.
Oh, I'm sure that it was at E3, but it wasn't
Right.
in their
presentation.
thing.
Right. There's other games that have tried this before, of course, and it's not something super new, but they're implementing actually a lot of major. They have an FIAA, which is like a regulated racing commission. I forget what it stands for.
Okay, I was about to say I'm not familiar with that
But
acronym.
it's yeah, they're like a real racing. So Gran Turismo, they have what's called the Gran Turismo like racers or something like that, where they bring there's different seasons of Gran Turismo, and the top players of it they literally take to come be race car drivers. And there's actually, I think, 2 active right now, and they've been active for a few years. So they're real race car drivers now, thanks to the video game. And in order to enforce that, they noticed when they talked with those guys, they were like, "Hey, what was the hardest part about coming from video games to real racing?" And they're like, "Dude, even though we love Gran Turismo and even this is where we got our start, it is nothing like real racing because one, physical limitations, which you can't overcome, but the other one is the fact that you can bank off other people. Like, literally, you're like, oh, a turn I'm coming up too fast for? Aim for that other car, you'll bounce off of him, he'll lose all of his momentum, and you'll keep going, and that's how you win online." And he's like, "That's how I won the tournament."
FIA.
FIA. Sorry, I put an extra A on there for
Freedom
some
of
reason.
Information Act.
No, it's FOIA.
Oh, yeah, you're right. What does FIA stand for? That's the commission you're talking about, FIA.
Yeah. But they're going to implement, real rule sets. Now, iRacing.com
Right.
already does all of these things. But it's nice to see them do it. And they're going to... Anyone who, continuously racks up penalties of hitting people, and it's going to be a penalty.
That's a real
you have,
thing.
Yeah, he's saying it's a legitimate organization.
Yeah.
It's French Fédération Internationale
yeah.
de l'Automobile.
Automobile.
That would be why I had no idea what it stood
Right.
for. But yeah, they're working with them to establish a rule set and implement into the game
certified.
to make it like a real racing simulation rule type.
Yeah, right.
Which is good because, man, I bought Xbone to play Forza, and I got online and I wanted to play the ones where the cars, they could hit each other and things like. You can't. If you play that, here's what happens: 3 dudes got in a party together, 2 of them are going to kill you, and that's all they're going to do is continuously try to ruin your day while letting their third friend win. And then once their third friend wins, they swap it out each time, and it's so lame.
That's a real thing in FPSs and stuff, but I can't remember the word for it.
Yeah, there's a word for it. I don't
It's
remember.
boosting or something. No, it's not boosting.
It might be boosting.
It might be, yeah. Where you're boosting someone's rank and then using that to sort of go up the ladder.
Yeah, you
together.
leapfrog each other all the way up.
All right, so Sony's presentation. I felt Sony won E3.
Yeah, you've said that a few times.
Yeah.
He's not.
I haven't said it on the podcast yet, but
he hasn't said it here. He's not the only person
Right.
I've heard who said that.
Yeah.
Okay,
why?
everyone that I've spoken to.
So
has said
first
that.
of all, their set was just amazing. Not only did they have the big screen in the back that everyone has, the floor, the whole stage floor, the presentations were literally just walking on TVs laid out.
That's pretty cool.
It was everything was a screen. So it was the floor screen, the slight sloped background screen, the background screen, the screen that's floating in front of the background screen, 2 side screens, the other side screens.
Sony now with 500% more screen.
This is what they're doing with all the TVs they can't sell.
They're like, and
then right in front of the stage was a live orchestra, and most of these
were there
games,
music stand screens?
most of these games, they may have had pre-recorded music, but the orchestra was playing over it. For most of these games, the background music was live.
That's cool. I appreciate that. I appreciate really anything that gives musicians some more jobs.
More jobs. Yes, please. Support your musicians.
It really elevated their talk though. Like it was actually really fantastic.
I'll check it out.
Which is why the first thing I put on here was live fucking orchestra, because pre-recorded is for chumps. They started out pretty strong with God of War. I don't know if you like God of War. No.
I like the technology. I love the talks of how they've done everything. I don't like the game. I don't like hack and slash.
What if it's Norse now instead of?
No, I know. I heard about that. Yeah, it's Norse gods.
Yeah.
But the whole
even though it looks like Kratos anyway.
After the first game, he had no reason to exist
anymore. It's the same guy. It's the same Kratos.
Yeah. It's still
Kratos,
him. Yeah. Which is now funny because we're getting into like pantheons. You know, you're like, oh no, every god is real. Yeah. You're like, what? But there's like 100 creator gods. Yeah, they're all different and also helped.
Yeah, I created this continent. You created that continent. It's fine.
It's silly, but I don't know.
I thought it looked pretty interesting. I have not played many of the God of Wars. I do remember liking. All the way. I do remember liking the mechanics of playing. I played 1 as well, but I didn't play it all the way through because I didn't own an Xbox at the time.
PS2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's it. Yeah. I didn't own it.
You
but
just didn't have the game.
I do remember liking it. But it looked interesting. It looked good. The battle looked fun. The story looked interesting. He's got like a kid, and he's, I guess.
But his family died.
He's got a new kid.
Okay.
There is a kid.
I'm sure there's progression in the story.
He stole the kid, I guess. I don't know. But it looked interesting.
Little weenie kid.
Yeah.
little
punk. Yeah.
No Spartan.
He definitely wasn't. What is this next? I know I saw the trailer. I don't remember. Days Gone.
Days Gone. Not Days Gone By?
Nope, just Days Gone.
Just Days Gone. I know I saw this. I don't remember what it is right now.
It is sort of a zombie game.
Okay.
I was going to say it's Skyrim, but I can barely see it.
It's sort of a zombie game.
Okay, now it looks like Last of Us.
Yeah, it's sort of like a Last of Us meets zombies.
Last of Us is zombies.
I didn't play Last of Us.
Yeah, apparently.
It's a zombie game.
Well, they're fungus zombies.
Yeah, I was like, they're not zombies.
They're still zombies.
They're not reanimated dead. They're infected something, right?
What? So's Resident Evil 4.
That's
and
different.
5
that's
and
Resident,
6.
That's different. That's beyond the first game, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But you still call them zombies.
It looked interesting.
I guess we're gonna get to talk about that too because of 7.
It looked interesting. It's got some exploration mechanics, got some story, all that other stuff. It's a zombie game now.
Okay.
Sony also, they didn't do like Microsoft where every game had to have some guy talk about the gameplay or whatever and give you the marketing spiel for it.
Well, I was going to ask you to give me the gameplay and what's the marketing spiel for this one.
It was like back-to-back gameplay and trailers. There was a little bit of gameplay in this one.
What's it like?
What is it?
It's like Last of Us.
You didn't play Last of Us, though.
Okay. It's like...
It looked like what the gameplay trailer for Last of Us looked like.
Right.
Is it just literally... Who's it by?
Ben Studios or something.
So did they just... Somebody saw Last of Us and decided, I want to do that too, or what? Is this like a blatant copy of that exact same game?
No, it's got like Ben Studios. It's got different story, different mechanics, stuff like that. It's got...
I hope it has a different story.
Yeah,
it's a different game.
Real sad.
They didn't do a lot of gameplay, all right? I don't know all of the gameplay. It started off with.
I'll mark that one.
I saw this teaser. It was something that I was looking at. But
no, they did. They revisited Days Gone at the end, so they ended it with gameplay of it. I didn't watch that part because I was trying to watch through all of E3 last night.
It's true. All right, so
you watched a lot of
we
stuff.
don't have much to say about it.
The Last Guardian.
Oh my god. so long. There are people who don't even know what that is now. Like my friend Ethan, I was reviewing this with him last night just because we were talking about it, and he was like, I have no idea what that is. And I was like, Shadow of the Colossus? And he's like, that's really old. And I was like, yeah.
I mean,
here's the sequel.
They're only vaguely related, though. It's different characters, different environments.
Well, Ico was barely related to Shadow of the Colossus, but it's very much a sequel.
Sure, but I mean, you can't really blame people for not knowing that a game that is in no way related outside of being part of the series.
No, I'm not blaming him for anything. I'm just thinking it's very incredible that he who loved Shadow of the Colossus has no clue what this game is because it's taken so long to come out.
Yeah.
I hope.
Have you seen this trailer? Did you watch this?
I am also blind in this one.
Okay.
I am getting weary of it because I have spent almost a decade purposely staying blind to this game.
It is coming out October 25th.
What did you think of the trailer for this one?
Same thing I thought of the trailer the last time they did it. I mean,
What did you think of it then?
Yeah,
I want
your
impression.
Because
I hadn't actually seen
that
that
trailer.
It looks.
Okay, I hadn't seen that trailer. I saw this one.
It looks interesting. It's got some puzzle platforming type thing that Shadow had. It's got a bit of a backstory and some mystery that you're uncovering. And
I was a little worried in the last trailer that I saw. I didn't see this one, but in the last trailer I saw, it looked like they were taking a lot of cues from Uncharted, where the barely in the nick of time jumping off this thing, but really it was just waiting for you to jump off it before it crumbled. Stuff like that is so artificial. I feel like I have to be drunk in order to.
You don't know that. Maybe if you don't jump, you fall.
Well, eventually you do, and in Uncharted, eventually you do, but it takes like several more seconds. Whereas if it had a set amount of time where it would just fall on its own and you just got to get through it, and they're like, you have 4 seconds once you grab this ledge to move on. But instead it's like you jump and you can wait 1, 2, 3, and then jump and then it falls instantly. Or you jump and then you jump instantly again and it falls then also. It's like it's always immediately after you jump. It only punishes you to try to keep up the illusion of you needing to keep time up. I know that's really minor, but it really changes how, especially if you fail it multiple times, it really changes how you perceive it. And I'm really hoping that The Last Guardian isn't following that, because I actually returned Uncharted 2, which is the one everybody loved. I did.
Wow.
That game was so stereotypically Hollywood to me that I couldn't deal with it.
And that's kind of the point of those, like, in a lot of sense. You're playing the cinematic thing. It's a very different gameplay versus I'm playing a platformer in which I have to jump from this thing before it falls. It's
Cinematic's different, though. Last of Us did it perfectly well. Same dudes.
And you can say that the other games are far more successful at it than another. I just think for that the sort of action that they're going for, which is just this super adventure where everything is blowing up and falling and people are shooting at you and you're being chased, around things and having to fly on all sorts of
and they're
weirdos.
On fire while dying from supernatural creatures, but somehow that one bounty hunter who's not bothering you needs to die.
Needs to die.
Ugh. I couldn't even believe it for even a moment. It was so stupid ridiculous.
So I'm interested to try The Last Guardian.
Me too.
I was really on the fence about the art style that I saw in this last trailer.
Yeah, it's a very, I guess, stylized. Like it's not HD. It looks like they're purposely trying to make it look like it's been like downscaled.
Sure, it's just not because the model is almost a decade old.
That's what I was saying. It
might like it
no,
looks like
because
no,
a decade old would have. I mean, it could have looked better than it does right now.
Well, I think the
art style for me seems very muddy and weird.
The thing that throws it off the most is the way that they decided to do the feathering of the Guardian.
Oh, I saw that. It looked odd, but I
was actually okay with the feathering of the Guardian. I'm just.
It might still not be final product.
That's the thing that it might not be a final product yet. Yeah. But that's the thing that makes it look low poly, low quality. Like
the trailer, it looked good enough to me to play. I didn't really care.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that they're doing a lot of this stuff intentionally because it's a very arty kind of game.
Yeah, I thought that the choices were intentional, but I was just looking at it and it was like, this seems like the kind of game that I wouldn't play just because of the way that it looked from the trailer that I saw.
Yeah,
like because there was contrast between like the main character and other things that were going on, or it's just like they don't feel like they actually fit in the same game in the same universe.
Maybe.
Maybe he's dead. Maybe Maybe it's a figment of the Guardian's imagination.
I'll watch it again to see if I still feel that way. But last night when I saw it,
I'll check out the new trailer.
I was not having it.
Next, we have Horizon Zero Dawn, which they actually went into a pretty decently long gameplay trailer for.
What's that?
It's one of the female
Horizon
protagonists,
Zero
right?
Dawn is we're so far into the future that we've gone caveman. There are
Oh, now I remember this one.
robot animals and dinosaurs roaming around, and you are hunter-gatherers using your high-tech hunter-gatherer bows and arrows.
Right, it was like Far Cry Primal Future.
Boatech, yeah.
Yeah.
Future Primal.
But
and robots.
yeah, and up to this
There's
point,
female
all the-
protagonist that was on that one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And up to this point, all of the trailers that they've shown and stuff was pretty much just them hunting, the roaming robot
That's
animals.
right. That's why I was interested in it, because that female protagonist actually looked like the kind that I've always
Yeah,
sort of wanted.
she looked cool. It was really good.
She just looks badass, and
Yeah.
she's just badass.
Just happens to be a woman, and
Right.
she's
Yeah.
badass, and that's it. Like, okay.
Yeah. Like
I
my
can get down with that.
Skyrim characters, right?
Right.
Who are just like, that is so secondary that it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't. So,
So in this gameplay trailer, they actually alluded a little bit more towards the story. It starts out as you're hunting, and then your village is attacked, and you've got to go and save the village. But
So it's an RPG.
yes, it's sort of a Skyrim-esque RPG. Like
Action.
it's got
RPG.
sort of a you can go around and do whatever you want kind of vibe to it.
Exciting. I'll check out some more of that.
But there's this sort of ancient element as well
I
that's
don't really like the
coming
name.
out, and you've got a Horizon Zero
Horizon
Dawn.
Zero
It's
Dawn.
like a try-hard name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, those are all three of them like stereotypical buzzword titles, but like each individually, like Horizon,
Zero.
you know,
Dawn
and then
something.
Dawn,
Dawn
those-
something.
those
It's
are
like
Dawn
all-
it's like
something.
it's like having three first names. Like
Also, Dawn's come from a Horizon, so that seems redundant.
Yeah.
And Zero Dawn.
isn't Zero on what is it thing on the airplanes where it's Zero is Horizon too, isn't it?
Oh, Azimuth. Yes.
You know, on
Yes,
the little
you-
meters on the airplanes that tell you where the horizon
That
is.
makes sense
Yes.
if you're flying.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
flying.
But you're not,
That makes
because you're a
sense.
But they all
caveman.
mean Zero.
That's
Horizon
true.
Zero Dawn.
So it's thrice redundant depending on what your frame of mind is.
Right. That's coming out February 28th, 2017, and I want to try it.
Yeah,
It,
sounds
it
good.
looked interesting. It didn't make my list of like the things I was really excited about, but it's definitely something I would just play.
Yeah, I really want to. I think I might play that. Depending what comes out then. What's the next one?
The next one I'm excited for.
Detroit Become Human.
Tell me why you're
Um,
excited, Miguel.
So I really like the style on the game. I was half asleep when I was watching this trailer, but I had seen it. I had seen some information for it before, and some people have been talking about the game for it. Your Android.
Mhm.
Does it have anything to do with Almost Human or any of the other Android cop shows or anything? Because that's what it kind of felt like.
Mm.
But you're like an android who is like sent into this, like the trailer has you going into this hostage situation, and it shows like actions happening. You have to investigate. Like,
Is it like Cyber Noir?
No.
not noir. I don't think there's,
Okay.
because you're changing things, so there's no fatalism. So it definitely doesn't fit noir at all.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got it listed as a choose your own adventure detective story.
Yeah,
But I believe, going off of the trailer, I believe it's one story.
right. You're
the
reliving
entire-
events over and
Yeah.
over again.
It's
to-
this one hostage negotiation,
Right.
but you're pretty much going through this whole
That
ordeal
sounds cool.
of the like hour and a half long hostage negotiation where you're going through all these scenarios and figuring out what's going on, and ultimately, can you get the good ending? Can you get the bad ending? Can you
That
save
sounds-
everyone? Do you have to sacrifice?
Right,
You know?
because
Yeah.
there's lots of little nuance to it that can change the outcome of what actually happens.
That sounds real cool. That
Yeah.
sounds like it could easily be done poorly,
Yeah,
but it sounds really
the
cool.
trailer looked good,
The trailer
but this
looked
was
really
just
good.
a
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like something I'd want to play.
Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
I should look at it and see if I care, because I haven't for a long time. Well, I didn't care about 6 or Raccoon City.
It will be playable on PlayStation VR,
Yeah, I don't want to drop
like
$800.
everything else.
and this was the first thing in this talk that they explicitly mentioned that.
Yeah, but I think at this point, after that, everything
After this, every single thing
everything is
everything.
VR.
Oh yeah. Well, this was a whole section of what's
Oh,
on
it's a
PlayStation
20th
20th VR.
anniversary. How about that?
Resident Evil 7 comes out January 24th, 2017. it had all your typical Resident Evil tropes.
So I mean, it looks like they took the
Creepy baby.
This looks like Silent Hill, not
Yeah, Silent Hill
Evil.
playable trailer. It looks like they took that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
And-
it looks almost exactly like that.
and threw that on top of this Resident Evil stuff.
Right.
So it looks
Yeah.
like that looks like
Where's some gameplay?
There is none.
there is none.
Okay, then I have no opinion because
Yeah.
this doesn't
Yeah,
mean anything
yeah.
at all.
It really doesn't. It looks like they just took the playable trailer and like, well, we're not making this game and Kojima's gone, so hey, let's just throw this in front of this trailer.
It
and
really looks just
Like Silent Hill.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was, and
When you
it's
show
like
that-
Resident Evil 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
So they also announced the PlayStation VR. It has a release date now, October 13th, 2016. It's going to
Okay.
be $399, and there will be 50
Oh, I thought that said
games.
$299.
$399. There
That's a
are
lot.
50 games scheduled to be released this year that will be compatible with PlayStation
It's just not a
VR.
Vive, you know.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
half the price.
It's half the price of a Vive, but man, that's a lot of money.
And you also don't have to have a gaming computer
have to
that
have
costs
the-
like 3 times as much as
Right.
your.
I mean that
Well,
is
that's
I guess
what
by
twice as much
comparison a major thing. But yeah, like man, even if you guys could knock it $100 less,
yeah, that's why it was
it still would be a lot.
At
and I'd be like,
at $299 is one of those things that's like happy birthday to me. Like
yeah,
I might
happy
do that.
freaking birthday! Like everybody, I want you all for my birthday to give me like an
$50.
Amazon gift card of however much, and I'm
Oh,
going to buy this thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Fair point, or far
Far
point.
point.
I said that too.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Farpoint, also PlayStation VR. I don't
Yeah.
really know much about this
It
one.
looked like you were on like
It's a shooter,
a
right?
foreign planet or Mars or something like
Yes.
that, and then all of a
Oh,
sudden,
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah,
all of a sudden aliens show up, take out
Okay.
your partner, and
First issue, he has an XM8. Why?
It looks interesting, but that's because I like that sort of space, tech fantasy. What do you call tech fantasy? Sci-fi? That space sci-fi look.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's
That's
like
what I'm
military
into.
fantasy, though, you
Yeah.
know?
yeah.
Which is why they used an XM8, even though that gun is dead and gone. Nobody uses it.
Yeah. It looks interesting. I want to, give it a go. I don't know if I'd give it a go in VR, because of that price point.
if
I'm
I had
really-
if I had the opportunity to, I would give everything a
Me
chance
too.
in VR.
Yeah.
I know people who right now are playing it and they're just like, I can't play games normally anymore because I now have this thing. So
Yeah. I went to a IDGA party like 3 weeks ago.
right.
And with a friend of ours, and
Mm-hmm.
they had a VR. They had an Oculus Rift hooked up, and a Vive, to this racing game. But what is the point of a simulated? It had what do you call it? You know those arcade games that you play and they have feedback on the wheel that constantly jerks you, but also it tries to correct your car by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you ever do that in a simulated game?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah. It auto corrects itself, the car, and if you try to keep correcting it, you overcorrect it because it's planning on you literally when you're spinning out holding the wheel straight. Nobody does that.
No one does that.
Nobody does that. Game developers, stop it. Nobody does that. Did you play test it even once?
They don't know how to drive.
I think that's the thing. I think this is made by people who have never spun out in a car. Like they've never taken a car to the limits. They've never gone go-karting. Like, so I was beating Ronnie by so far because I let go of the wheel in every corner. So stupid. And so I spent the entire time looking at my car instead of looking at the road or anything or being involved. And I was like, oh, I can look at mirrors. That's real cool. I wish it was relevant. So I like VR, but
That's amazing.
I did recognize that there's certain games that VR is going to set. My expectations are already very high, obviously, for certain games of in order to suspend my belief, you have to give me something plausible. I recognize that in VR, I was like 4 times angrier about that because I was like, no, I'm fully enveloped in this world. I'm totally immersed. All my senses are dedicated to your game.
Yeah,
and
this is
you're
not-
like giving me these bullshit physics and idiot mechanics. No, I don't accept this. If I drop $800 for a thing to play your game with, your game better be good. I was so mad about it.
And here I am, excited to play Job Simulator 3000.
Yeah, which set itself up already to be goofy. That actually looks really fun.
It does.
But if you have a semi-real world, you have to commit to it. You know.
This next one, there's not even much point in even mentioning it.
Okay.
It was a super teaser.
It was like a 10-second teaser trailer
For what?
for Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing.
Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront. Is it gonna be an expansion? Is it a standalone? What is it?
It's going to be on PlayStation VR.
Okay, great.
That's all we know. They did not talk about it. They didn't do anything. It was a TIE fighter goes out into space, and then it says Star Wars X-Wing.
Yeah, and they show a couple Star Destroyers out in the distance.
Right.
Yeah. And
The X-Wing cockpit looked kind of low res and bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what I thought, because I saw it was VR, and I was kind of like,
Yeah.
why aren't you making this amazing? Like, it should be at that stage now.
well, like the controls were all blank.
I
Like
do.
it looked like it shouldn't have even been released yet.
All of these trailers had a little thing at the bottom that says pictures have been reformatted for a non VR experience. So I don't know how accurate any of these VR
images.
trailers are to what you'll see in the actual headset.
Yeah.
Because they all had to be reformatted, so they're taken
That's
out
true.
of context.
Every single time I've ever had a VR headset on my head, which is 3 times now, everything has been so low res, it's been ridiculous.
Extremely low res.
Yeah.
To the point, the very first time that I put, and I understand that's the game. It's not actually the
Right.
hardware. Or
It's been the
anything.
game every time. I
Yeah,
think.
it's always the game, because I understand that, but I don't understand why people aren't trying to do something, because
Yeah.
the last time I put on a Oculus, which was a long time ago, so I admit it was not after some updates, but it was so low res and it was so strange, and the screen was actually not fully in my vision, that I was like, I've played VR like a decade before
like
that.
in arcades,
that was
right?
just as good as what I was
Mhm.
playing right there. It's like, I don't understand what you've done at this point, because this technology has already existed. So until someone can prove to me that,
They
and I haven't
reinvented
played
the
with
wheel
I haven't
without
played
making
with
any
Vive.
improvements.
Exactly what it was. It's like, we want to do this again, and then it was like, I've played it better.
Yeah.
At the time that I played with the Oculus.
Yeah,
So.
that's why I really, you know what, I could commit to a $400 VR headset if I really spent the effort to do so. If I could play any of these games and they were that good, I really, really hope they're going to have at like GameStop or something, that they're going to have one of these headsets that you can see a real game in, because
I need to try
right
it.
now
I'm not gonna
VR
just
just
drop
seems like a bad gimmick to me at
Yeah.
the moment.
I know people who use their Vive now and who really, really enjoy that.
Okay.
So
All right.
People from work who are just like,
Right.
no, you have to, like, you're just gonna have to do it. Like,
Yeah.
once you do it, you're gonna realize it's the only way you're gonna be able to play games now.
Interesting.
So
Batman Arkham VR, which is
I
literally
I
the
watched-
name of the game, Arkham VR.
I watched the first.
Please don't let's not have. Go
I
ahead,
watched
Miguel.
well. All I was gonna say is I watched the first half of this trailer, and when I was watching it, it seemed like that first half was just black. It was just so dark I couldn't see shit, so I stopped.
It
I'm
does
literally
look like-
I'm literally tabbing through this and just getting black screen.
And I think it's just because it's just the mask of the Batman, and that's it. Like, there's
Right.
nothing else
No
in the trailer.
gameplay or
It is.
anything.
It's nothing. It's like literally, it's just audio.
Yeah, it's
And
just
like
Batman
something
VR.
for you to look at for a little bit there. So that trailer is terrible.
October
that's
2016.
an ultra teaser. Yeah.
That's yet beyond teaser.
Yeah.
Or is it hashtag?
Except
Random
that
Foul?
at least it was longer.
Well-
it was longer than the Battlefront X-wing one.
Do you remember the original Skyrim teaser? The teaser.
Yes.
No,
Yes, I
it
do.
was so good.
It was.
It
Good,
was
though.
so good.
Um,
Sometimes
That's why I got
teasers.
it. Like, that's what got me into it. Like coming up to it.
Okay, I was gonna.
You probably would have anyway.
I would
right?
have gotten Skyrim anyways, but that is what got me so pumped that I literally, in college with no money, bought it for 2 other people.
Wow.
I
Wow.
didn't eat for quite a while. I ate peanut butter every day for
You know you can share
weeks.
games, right?
I didn't want to.
that's cheating. That's illegal.
Also, it was PC. So,
They can come over to your place.
man, we had a good time. I'm replaying Skyrim right now, which I guess we'll mention. I didn't see it in there, especially since PC. It's you're in Sony, Xbox, Nintendo mode. Skyrim is being
It is mentioned.
remastered.
It's down here under Bethesda.
okay. Oh, you have a section.
No,
for
you
Bethesda.
have-
They had their own E3 talk.
Yeah, but is Skyrim even on there? I didn't see it.
I didn't put it on there.
No,
No,
but...
sir.
Yeah,
no,
it
sir.
wasn't on there.
Wait, where's the other? Elder Scrolls Online. That's what it was.
Yeah.
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 Elder Scrolls Legends.
Yeah, but Skyrim Remastered seems dumb to me. I'm playing it now, and it's still good. and it
So-
still looks
That's
fine.
not new though. That's something that they announced
So
a
yeah,
while
because
ago.
you're a PC gamer, I got rid of my copy on the 360. I don't own a 360 anymore. I
Right.
still have the hard drive with a save file. I need a 360 so I can put it on and hopefully be able to actually play that on the remastered. I need to figure out if that's going to be possible. or not.
Remaster is supposed to have some mods too with it.
Yes.
I think Sky UI's in it, which is very interesting to me. But I was gonna say, I really hope we're not entering a time where everything is named
VR.
VR.
XXY VR,
Yeah.
because
Well, because you won't know which game is what.
it's
They're
like
all named
3D,
XXY.
right? Like when everything was named, yeah, really. When everything was named 3D,
Or the
Come
Nintendo
on.
naming scheme with the 64, everything was 64.
and now Nintendo's is new. How? What? Why are you calling everything new?
Because
I
it's
have
on the
new
new 3DS.
Oh, but I have the new Super Mario Brothers on the Wii U. Do you know how old that game is? 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
3 years, I guess. Yeah, it's still going to be called the new
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers in 20 years. So they can never ever call it the new Super Mario Brothers again. And in fact, they've ruined the ability to say that.
You cannot describe the next
It's
Super
not how
Mario Brothers
language
as
works,
new.
guys. I mean,
It's how naming works.
You're-
You can be terrible at naming.
Is that
Have
how-
you not seen kids?
is that how it works in Japanese? Is new all, actually not a real word?
Noodle.
It's literally called new in Japanese also.
They would
That's
just-
why
they-
it kills me.
Yeah, they should have just put Kai at the end of it.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
Final Fantasy 15 made an appearance on Sony as well.
Right.
Obviously.
I saw
Different though.
VR?
So
Yes.
Microsoft was demoing gameplay.
They have such a
Sony
VR
demoed
boner.
VR, where you can play as Prompto in VR,
Is that his
which is
name?
where Sid was.
Prompto?
Prompto
Oh,
is
good.
one of
So
the
you can
four
literally
characters.
get your face right up all in that.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted.
it was actually
kind of
really
what I
funny
wanted.
because it was really funny. I don't know if this is the.
Well, I mean,
trailer
We
that's-
for
have, we have
that
much
honestly-
progressive talks, but we also
Yeah.
have
Oh
news.
yeah, this is.
Well, I mean, that's one of like the primary like features on VR right now, right? It's like you could play these 10 games or watch these 13 billion porn videos, which have been
Pornhub,
yeah, no, which have been optimized for it, which is great. It's really fun to watch just without it because you can just watch stereoscopic.
You just cross your eyes
Video.
and you're good.
Yeah,
So
you
I'm
just
assuming
cross your
that's
eyes.
Sid, right?
There we go.
I didn't see. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. She looks like a normal person, except
Yeah,
she's-
yeah, and then you saw
And all of a
She
sudden it
doesn't have
pans
a
out and you're like,
pan-
oh, that's a crop
crack
jacket
he's-
for
he's
some
watching-
reason, so I can see her entire midriff, and then I can see her underwear before I see her pants.
Yeah.
Right.
He was like, no, that looks normal, but all he could see was her jacket from like
Right, at that moment,
the rib
at
height
that
up,
moment.
and then it panned down right then, and he was like, oh.
I was like, oh, she looks like, yeah, she's not wearing clothes.
Yeah, so
Pretty good.
this trailer didn't have what I really liked.
It doesn't seem like a first-person game.
Chocobo!
Well, so that was just a general trailer with the allusion to VR at the end. But the trailer that they did in the
In the demo, in the
the presentation was actually a gameplay trailer. But what I really liked about it was they introed it with Sid giving Prompto a PlayStation VR, and so you see the
What?
character wearing the PlayStation VR, and then it switches to his point of view, and then you go out and they do the battle and stuff. But then you just like they keep switching to these scenes where you just see him fighting, and he's got the group of guys, and then he's wearing a PlayStation VR with the other guys around him.
Please, no.
I really liked that. That was funny.
so weird.
Obviously, that's not going to be in the game, but that was just
Yeah.
was a funny way to present that.
You think that
Uh,
Metal Gear
yeah,
has
I
a
hope not.
lot of... He can wear a PlayStation 4 box on his head. Like, It's
Yeah.
literally the console box, and you
Yeah,
stuff
I've
it on your
seen
head.
Yeah, that's not as as
It's
bad
not-
as
it's not
wearing
as
a
bad.
PlayStation
No, it's
VR though. The only
Metal Gear's
note
pretty
that I
weird
had on
anyways.
this was
Yeah.
I'm
Always
not
has been, but that's part of the charm.
Yep.
the only note that I had on this is I'm not sure how I feel about playing this in VR because of the
Me
warp
neither.
mechanic
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be very
of the battles.
disorienting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like all of a sudden.
Which is what I wrote here is I think that would be very disorienting warping around because I think also you aim by looking at stuff so
Yeah.
you're like
Maybe you just gotta learn to close your eyes or something. This has been interesting though.
That'd be
because
interesting, though. I mean, you would have to do that. Like, your
We were gonna have a
vision's
VR
change.
podcast. Or did we already have a VR
we haven't had
podcast?
one yet
We
but we
haven't had
will
one.
we will
Okay.
We should probably
Awakens.
play VR
Oh.
before we do that.
yeah
Yeah, that's... God, are we gonna all pitch in together and get one?
We
we
can
could
go-
find
we
someone
can
who
go to
has
the
it. and
Maybe
store.
we
play
can
it.
find someone who has one. Yeah, we don't have that
They've got
budget
'em at
yet.
Fry's.
You people watch some more and we'll
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
They've
Give us
got-
money.
they've got them at Fry's and
No,
stuff
just,
so we
you
can
know,
go
just
try
No,
it.
but we
We'll
actually
get
want
the
to play a
money eventually.
game.
Yeah. No, I mean they've got demos at Fry's.
But VR is
I want
basically going to
to play a
re-usher
game
in
somewhere
the
where I
first
can
person.
swear.
Yeah.
VR is going to be the first person era again.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, it has to be. It'd
Right,
be
it
really
has to
weird
be,
to do a
right?
VR third-person game.
But I guess you could do it.
Like an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Maybe some indie will do something like that.
I mean, it's essentially what you're doing in any other game that isn't a first-person one. You're just gonna do it there.
But the whole point of VR
so I
is
can now
to-
just move the screen and my look on
You
camera
just move
just
your
by moving
camera
my
where
head.
you are.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole point of VR is the immersion.
Which then gives me
Um,
different things to do with sticks or with a mouse.
You know, honestly, one of my
Honestly,
one of my favorite things about the VR and the headset and then putting headphones on is how completely shut off you are from everything else. I don't necessarily and those MechWarrior pods, right, where you physically get in the cockpit and you close and there's ones where you don't close the door, and there is no door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, those are terrible. I have to be able to close that door, have the rumble, the screens, and the lights all alone.
The
And
flippy switches. and
That is
everything.
the experience.
Yeah.
If you are sitting there and there's some dude leaning in watching you play, and there's the rest of the world around you intruding in, not the same experience. And that's what That's why I play with headsets on. That's why that's my favorite thing about VR is that I can just get lost in that world.
You're now in the
It's
game.
also kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because I could get real used to that.
I'm ready to play some survival horror in VR.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Just totally crap my pants.
Yeah, DayZ would be. I would play.
That'd
again.
just be scared the entire time, and not of anything except for like someone's gonna murder me.
Yeah,
because
the
that's
game.
just what
Someone's gonna
people
murder
do.
You, the game.
Yeah. So that's the end of the VR segment.
All right.
Next we have Call of Duty Infinity Warfare, which
Infinite Warfare.
Infinite Warfare.
Those are different words.
Yeah, I know.
Close though.
Close.
Good try.
Similar.
I had a fight with Google Docs over that word. Google kept wanting to make it Infinity Warfare instead of Infinite Warfare because
So the way
Google
you
was
say
like, yeah,
Infinity War is
Yeah.
what I was trying to.
yeah, because
get towards.
Google was like Infinite Warfare. No, Infinity War.
Yeah, Infinity War. Like that's what you're looking for.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you mean this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the sci-fi and the space and that, and I feel like this looks right up my alley. And I don't do a lot of shooters and stuff, but this looks like it's very Halo-esque, but with like it's all the things that I like about Halo, but with fighting in space added to it.
But fighting more specifically in 0G.
Yeah, if you're on a planet, you're not in space.
You could still have gravity on spaceships that you fight in, and like Halo, you always.
Right.
I mean, maybe not in the later ones,
sure, yeah.
but you always have gravity. You're never in 0G. Even though you're in space, you're in spaceships, you're fighting all out there, but you never have 0G. And so this one is 0G fighting
in space.
I really like them experimenting with new mechanics. I'll say I'm really glad you guys aren't doing Modern Warfare 5 or 7 or 9. So I'm glad for that. You know, if you get it, I'll come watch you play it and see if I like it. But I'm just so burned out on Call of Duty. It's unfair, but
See, I don't play Call of Duty, so I'm not burned.
Right.
I wish they would just name it something else
They did.
and-
Infinite
and-
Warfare.
without the tag
Yeah,
Call
yeah.
of Duty.
Don't stick it into that. I mean,
It's
I
not
was
the
I was
Call of
let I was let down
It's
by
a tainted brand.
I was
you're
let down
saying.
by Advanced Warfare. I really didn't get into it that much, and I just got out of that. But I will try Infinite Warfare just to see if I like the mechanics in that. I didn't like I can use this jump pack and whatever in
Yeah, I don't like
Advanced
jump packs in
Warfare.
games.
So
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't care.
So that's November 4th, 2016.
I don't mind jump packs. I just didn't like. I didn't like Advanced Warfare.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that led right into Call of Duty Modern Warfare is getting a remastered version. Is 1 through 5? I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. It was actually really confusing because there was no break between Infinite Warfare and the Call of Duty Modern
remaster.
Warfare, and so I was like, did they go from space to the planet? I had to like rewind a second there to
That's
see
funny.
the like
change.
quick bump
I
there.
thought it was just Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 1. I thought that was the one they're remastering. I didn't think they were doing
It's
the other
one
ones.
of them. It
I'm
may,
sure it's-
But it's Modern Warfare.
like
they're remastering, right?
it just
So
said
it'll be
Modern
4.
Warfare remastered, so I don't know if that was a series
So
that they're
that's-
remastering or not.
So Call of Duty 4
4 is
was
Modern
the very
Warfare 1.
first Modern Warfare.
Mhm.
So, in fact, the Call of Duty we're on is literally like 13 or 14 now.
Well, yeah.
Man, it might be even further than that. I think it's beating Final Fantasy now. I think it's
Possible.
actually 15, and this might be 16. Because they also had Call of Duty Big Red 1.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot is getting remastered for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, I like that.
They talked... Okay, I
didn't
watch
put that down.
talk, and it was weird because they made it sound like they were making a new Crash Bandicoot game, and they were not.
Yeah. It was a little confusing, but they are remastering the first 3, Crash, Crash 2, and Crash Warped.
Okay.
And they're
Cool.
adding, so this is where it sounded like they were making a new game, where it got a little confusing. They are adding Crash Bandicoot to Skylanders.
Right. Which,
Ew.
not...
Disgusting.
Well, I don't care.
It's horrible.
If you like Skylanders, then
You
that's
like
probably cool.
it. Yeah.
No.
Well,
Which I did when I played it. But,
If you don't like Skylanders.
I mean, I understand your position on that, and I feel
that's
really
fine.
sad. I could see that that's where it was going to go. Because, like, oh, I have to buy things to add to this, and they're cute? Yeah. You're screwing parents. You're screwing parents so
you really
hard.
are. Okay,
But
let's...
that was where that everything's a screen really shone, though. If you watched his presentation where he walked out, the floor was... At first I was like, they're projecting this. But then I was like, he has no shadow.
Yeah.
And then like there's that one camera angle where they're below him, and like you can see it reflecting on the bottom of his shoes. That's a giant screen.
That's cool.
That's
I'll have to
crazy.
look at that better
Yeah.
again, because I was listening, not watching.
This is one that looked really good. Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
I didn't watch it because I imagine it's going to be
They're
another
all the
Lego
same.
game.
And
Which I don't have a problem
they-
with that. They do them well. I
Yeah,
was
they
just
do
like,
them
okay.
really well.
They're good, but they're all the same. But
Yeah.
they're
They're good.
good.
They're
Yeah.
good.
So
No complaints. Just
June 28,
I just
2016.
felt like I 100%ed Lego Star Wars. Which took forever.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't 100% it, but I beat it and then spent 80 more hours in it, and so I'm done with it forever.
Yeah.
And
You're
then-
100% with the
Right,
game,
yeah,
even
I'm
if the game
100%.
save
So
doesn't
then
say you
Then I
are.
got Lego Harry Potter to play with Katie, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is exactly the
Same
same
thing.
game."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can't do them anymore.
It's really good if you are into one of the franchises, get one, play that.
That's the
And
thing.
then
I
you're
think
done.
you can only play one of those, and they
Yeah.
turn them out so fast. I'm like, huh. Well, I'm glad I wasted, not wasted, but spent my enjoyment of this type of game on Star Wars, because I'm done now.
Yeah.
I'm done forever.
Right. All right. Then we got the big one.
Here's the talk.
Death Stranding by
I don't
Kojima.
know why you guys think this is a big thing to talk about. There is nothing to it. There's
It
no
was the
information.
We want to talk about it
Weirdest-
because it's weird.
It was
Yeah,
the
but
weirdest
that's just-
thing at E3.
They just did that on purpose. Though.
I know.
I mean,
know
that's his
totally
style.
on
Yeah,
purpose.
that's what he does. But
Yeah, it just
was
reminds
just so
me.
weird.
I'll
Did you
just
watch
wanna-
the Metal Gear Solid 4 announcements?
Yeah.
And they had the weird girls walking around and like liquid coming off of them.
Yeah.
Very similar to this. Honestly, it just
But
looks the same to me.
that's
Yeah.
why it gets talked about, because everyone wants to talk about the weird stuff. That's what everyone wants to hear other people talking about the weird stuff too.
And the reason I bring it up is because this is really the first thing outside of Zelda that I heard from E3, and I didn't even recognize what it was because it was just all in my face.
This
and I
is
guess
the
it's
first
my
thing I
friends.
checked on because I wanted to see what he's up to. And then
Yeah.
I was like, ha, classic. Okay. And then I moved on. And then all of a sudden everybody was talking about it, and I was like, oh, all you people care? Why do you... I mean, I know
'Cause
you
it's
guys
weird.
do.
Yeah.
But I don't know why... Well, yeah,
There's a
everybody
lot
was
of
just
people
like...
in-
I'm not
novelty.
going to play it, but it's weird.
I am.
I have no idea if I'm going to play it because
I'll
it's
play
not a
it.
game right now.
I'll play it because it's a Kojima game, just so I can be like, okay, I need to play this thing.
It's
Yeah.
just...
It might not
yeah,
be good, but I need to see.
The whole thing... I guess I just don't... I don't buy into those ever, where it's like, what does this mean? What does the baby mean? What does the umbilical cord? Why is he naked? Why... It doesn't matter. If I have no context, none of those questions matter.
Right.
So I have no context, so the trailer matters 0%, other than, hey, I'm glad he's working on something.
Yeah, and then Norman Reedus is naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, which has pleased many a...
That's what I've got
Many a
written down.
fan.
Naked man with baby, cryptic, weird times a million, and the takeaway was that entire trailer was running in real time. It wasn't pre-rendered or anything, and it looked
Yeah, I
pretty
remember
good.
him saying that.
Yeah, it looked really good in real time. So
Yeah, but honestly, it looked exactly as good, not better, to me. Exactly as good as Metal Gear Solid 4 did. Every cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 4 you could run around and look at.
yeah,
And it was rendered in real time, and it looked just as good as this did. And that was years ago. That was 8 years ago.
well, yeah, we're old.
So, yeah,
I
but
remem-
I'm saying nothing improved
I
to
remember.
me.
I remember 4 looking really good. I need to go back and see it again.
It might not in comparison, but, like...
But you're just saying not much of a.
Then again,
Nothing's groundbreaking.
Then again, the next gen coming up is 4K, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just got a 4K monitor on super ultra sale by some back alley internet dealer. But I am impressed. And then I got used to it within 2 days. And now I look at my left monitor, which is 1920 by 1080, and I'm like, man, look at all the pixels. It's crazy. You can just see them; they're huge. So I think I'll be more impressed if I see it in the resolution it's supposed to be in. And 4K TVs are coming down and down and down in price. Mm-hmm. So I think the next generation 4K. Once I have all of my media upgraded to that, because I haven't upgraded in like 12 years. This is like the first new thing I've gotten in forever. Maybe it'll be really cool and look really good, and I'll be really impressed then. So I think I need to view it in what it was intended for, right? Not through my own.
Yeah.
Of course, I had a 4K monitor and I was watching it, and I was still like, okay, he's very shiny.
Yeah, it was a little.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Then there was a teaser for a new Spider-Man game. According to Wikipedia, it is not titled, but I think it's just going to go the same way that all the Spider-Man's games go, and it's just going to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, that's just going to be the title.
Spider-Man 2003.
Right? Like,
Hashtag Spider-Man PS4.
I actually don't mind that. If you just say Spider-Man and then the year, that actually gives more knowledge of what it's about than any title would.
Yeah.
It looked... I mean, it was all cutscene. It looked good, but it was pre-rendered cutscene.
Yeah.
I mean,
it
wasn't gameplay. So I'm excited for it, but I need to see what it looks like before I do that. We've had a good Spider-Man game in the past, and then we've had some bad ones.
Yeah. All right.
So,
and then they finished that off with Days Gone, just playing through it.
Yeah.
Next we got Nintendo, which is really not a lot to talk about Nintendo because they decided to do their usual thing and not do E3. Instead, they decided to do a 2-day long, literally 18 hours of live stream, the Treehouse Live. The first day, they gave about an hour to Sun and Moon, the new Pokemon game, did some gameplay and stuff, where most of it was a black square on the bottom and the game on the top, because the game's still in development and they haven't implemented the bottom screen yet. So he's like, yeah, we've got a new backpack system, and the developer is like, oh yeah, but we can't show it off because we haven't implemented the bottom screen yet. So it's there, but you just can't use it yet.
Yeah.
They showed off the new battle system. It looks good. It's a Pokemon game. Showed off some of the new Pokemon. If you like Pokemon Sun and Moon, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
They're all 3D models now, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I was ready for that with the Nintendo 64. I really was. That's what I wanted. I wanted a 3D.
They do have,
and then it was too little, too late.
There's a new, I think, like an arena battle mode, sort of like Pokemon Arena. They've got like a new arena battle mode.
I heard about that.
What, Pokken Tournament though?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm totally not up with this.
In Sun and Moon, it's so you can now do
I'm so unhip.
Trainer. You can battle other people in sort of an arena style.
Okay.
I think. I glossed over that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Isn't it like 4-player or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's like up to 4.
Cool.
Trainers.
Yeah.
So I was like, what?
And
Interesting.
then they spent I think 10 hours just playing through Zelda. They decided rather than releasing Zelda, they're just going to play it all on live stream.
They're going to play 100% of it, and then it's like you played it.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy it anymore. You don't have to give them money.
I've not watched much of it because, once again, I don't want to be spoiled. But
I only watched the trailer. I'm not going to watch all of that.
I have seen enough to notice
talk about it that much.
They've got cool environment interactions.
Mm-hmm. So first,
yes.
the new game called Zelda Breath of the Wild will be out for Wii U.
I could have sworn it was Breath of the Wind, man.
Breath of the Wild.
Is it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It will be out for the Wii U, and it will be out for the NX whenever they announce that.
Huh. I guess I've had the Wii U a long time.
Yeah. It's an open world exploration game now. So they're going back to that fun, do whatever you want in whatever order you want game. There's actually no story at the beginning, so you're actually on a quest to sort of discover the story. You're in sort of a ruined world of the ruined world of Hyrule, and yeah, there, as you said, there's a lot of really cool environment interactions. There's wind, there's weather. There's this one part that was really cool. It was like a windy night, and there was a campfire, and he like cut down a tree, and the wind sort of blew some of the twigs into the fire, and they caught fire, and then the wind blew the big fire into the grass, and then there's just this brush fire like going down a hill.
Fire. I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, like the fire spreads with the wind like it would in reality.
I guess that's why I thought it was wind, because wind was featured prominently.
Yeah, there were lots of weather effects.
Just environment, but it is wild.
Yeah.
There was also another one where there was one of the what do they call the goblins? Moblins? I think they're called moblins. Had like a stick, and he caught it on fire and was just waving it around, and one part touched the ground a little bit, and there was a scorch mark in the grass where it waved over the grass.
Zelda's so it sounds like they might be on a new engine finally.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for the next 3 games that are going to be in this engine because it looks real good.
Yeah, it looks really good. It's got physics. You can chop down trees, and you can do stuff with boulders and all this other stuff. It looks really good. They didn't spoil any of the story, but they did spoil a lot of the progression. I was just like tabbing through the 10 hours of them playing through it, and you just go through and like, oh, we're in a different dungeon now, here's how you do this puzzle, and here's how you do this puzzle. It's like, great, thanks, that's the main point of the dungeons.
Yeah, that's like the main point of the game is the dungeons.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, and here's this thing that you can unlock with you actually have a tablet. They said that they're trying to meld the tech into the fantasy, like it's sort of a tech fantasy world now. So you've got this tablet. It's not really electronical, but it's supposed to be like,
a tablet.
A tablet.
Yes.
But it's really like a stone slate with, carvings and stuff on it, runes and things. But you unlock in a very tech type way where you plug your tablet, just like you would plug like your iPhone into a charger. You plug your tablet into a pedestal and it like unlocks things.
That's not enough to ruin anything, but I've seen that in a number of games now where they're like, it's like the developer can't imagine being without this tech.
Right.
And they're like, no, well, what if he has, okay, he'll plug his tablet into the thing. And you're like, there's no tablets. Well, let's make a tablet so he can have a tablet because I like tablets. And you're like,
no tablet. How's he going to GPS?
How's he going to take pictures of things?
Yeah. So
it might be totally fine. I don't know.
The game looks really good, and I'm glad that they didn't spoil any of the story elements. But I really wish that I didn't watch any of it because I didn't want to spoil it, but I feel bad for all the people who were watching it because
some people love that though.
A lot of the dungeons and
everything there is about the game.
Yeah, I guess
before they get into it. I don't understand that, but it's
of Zelda, the whole point of the dungeons in Zelda is solving these puzzles, and
that's to some people the point of games is having said they've beat them, especially faster than you.
Yeah, there are 4 main dungeons that unlock things for the story, I think, and then there are 11 or more. I think it was a little vague on that. Dungeons in the whole world that you can explore and get more story and get more backstory and what's going on and all that.
I'm excited to see how they do it. I hope Zelda features.
It is a massive map too.
Yeah,
like they were only on one little plateau, I guess.
Yeah,
and.
I saw they were on some weird plateau.
Yeah, and it was like they were just walking around for 10 hours.
Yeah, the same plateau.
Yeah.
Man, you know what I want them to do? What I've always wanted them to do? I just want them to bait and switch you in the middle of it, and suddenly you're Zelda. With all of the things Link has, and Link is locked in a dungeon somewhere. And you're like, Zelda, don all the armor and go out. Or be Sheik, yeah. Maybe you even have different types, and then you have 2 characters you can play as. I know that that's not classic Zelda, but Zelda's always been a kind of a trope pusher.
Yeah.
They used to be, anyways. They used to really break the bonds of what the previous game even was about, and I always wanted them to do that. I wanted them to do it so bad. I always wanted to play as Sheik before I ever knew Sheik was Zelda in 64.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
If you don't know by now, you're never gonna know.
Well, if you never played Super Smash Brothers, people were mad in Melee because if you press down B, you turn into Zelda, and it was a spoiler that Sheik was Zelda. Funny, but I always wanted to be Sheik. I thought he was so cool.
I put a little link in our notes here of the people playing badly and just blowing themselves up trying to solve a puzzle. There were a lot of moments of that where they're falling off cliffs and stuff.
Yeah.
There was one where they cut down a tree and then started like to cross a valley, so they cut down a tree so it goes over like
a bridge,
a cliff or whatever. Yeah.
A chasm.
And they get on the tree and the tree falls off.
That's pretty great. Okay, so was there any news on when their next console's coming out? Because they're kind of ahead.
They didn't
of the
talk about
console.
They didn't
at
talk
all.
about NX at all.
Must not be soon then.
No.
All right.
But I think the takeaway of this talk was, don't buy a Wii U if you don't have one. Just wait for the NX.
So when is... They don't have any dates for anything, do they? No? Okay. Well, okay. So I guess we're expecting Zelda 2018?
Zelda is coming out for the Wii U and the NX. I think this is March 2017 for the NX.
What? So the NX is coming out by March 2017, then I
Yeah.
would assume.
No, yeah, this says NX March 2017. Breath of the Wild doesn't have a release date yet.
Huh.
This just says 2017.
No, I guess I'll wait and see. All right. What's the next one?
Pokemon Go.
Okay, don't care personally.
I'll play
Pokemon
it.
Go is that real world
AR.
Pokemon game. Yeah,
Yeah,
augmented
AR.
reality,
Oh yeah.
where you can go out and you can do the battles. You can catch Pokemon in the wild. They also announced.
I wish I was 12 so I could play the crap
also-
out of that.
Also, like
I'll
that
still
they,
play it.
They made sure to start that with Pokemon Go was an April Fool's joke that we decided to just run with.
Yeah, because
They
everybody
literally-
wanted it
They
so
literally
hard.
said that?
Yeah,
That's great. I was going to kind of point that out to you. I was like, well, I'm not sure if that's really
I
what they intended. No, it was. Wow.
That's funny.
I think that because it was an April Fool's joke, though, that they really aren't taking this seriously as a game. So they released the Pokemon Go Plus, which is a little pin that you can wear.
Yeah,
And when you're near a Pokemon, it'll flash, and you push the button. And if it turns blue, you caught a Pokemon. If it turns red, you lost a Pokemon. Basically, removing all of Pokemon from Pokemon.
Yeah, what's the point? I don't want blue lights. I want to see what I'm getting.
Right.
Why
And
would you even try to
The
capture
point.
it?
The point was. Well, it's rude when you're in talking to your friends or you're in a group or whatever, and you pull out your phone to go catch Pokemon. So we wanted people to be able to stay with their group and keep talking to their people.
And just be kind of weird constantly clicking this thing.
So you've removed Pokemon from Pokemon. That sounds great.
I get it, but it's my choice to be a weird social person to play your game.
I can still be a weird social person and play the game.
That
other
and,
way,
and
right?
as other people have, yeah, you can still play it on the phone.
Okay.
As
That's
other
just
people,
a thing you could do in addition to.
Okay.
It's
yeah,
not the main.
for an extra $35, you can play Pokemon Go without playing Pokemon Go.
So for an extra $35, you can pay to not play the game.
Right. But as other people
Wow.
have pointed out, if you're gonna play Pokemon Go, you're gonna end up wanting to know what you just caught anyways. So you're still gonna pull your phone out and look at
catch
it.
it. Is the deal, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Am I going to waste the last Pokeball I have right now on
Right,
that?
yeah.
I don't even think it uses Pokeballs. You just push it and you get Pokemon. Like it's
There's
pretty
no
much a
management
Pokemon.
for Pokeballs?
Probably if
There's
you-
no battle.
If you're paying,
I know there's no battle, but still.
If you're paying $35, it probably just auto calculates it, does it all for you.
Yeah,
and
it's-
you don't have to.
it's just a
lose
Pokemon
anything. I bet
vending
it's just
machine.
it's just like cheat DLC.
Next was a new IP. Finally, something new from Nintendo.
Is this the desert one?
Ever Oasis. Yeah, it takes place. So
If this is the one I think it is, I hate it.
An oasis, by
looked
definition, right? An oasis by definition
Is in a desert.
Is in a desert, right?
Yeah.
And so they made sure to Ever Oasis is a game that takes place in a desert. They made sure to point that out.
It's true. I looked at it and I didn't deeply invest myself in looking at it, but it looked like Dragon Quest.
It reminded me of Dragon Quest meets
Yeah, it
Zelda.
did look like Dragon.
Yeah.
It was like Dragon Quest meets Zelda.
That sounds good,
I thought it looked pretty good. I'm into that kind of game.
but the chibi.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't. The style was really throwing me off, and then I looked at the gameplay, and it was kind of
It's
RPG and
I
kind
didn't-
of
I didn't
shallow
watch-
looking.
I didn't watch all of it, but some of the things that they said made me think that it was also kind of a Dark Cloud-esque, because you are managing the Oasis. You're like the chief of the Oasis or something like that.
Oh man,
So
if they can
want
pull me in
to-
with building, they might get me then.
Yeah, so they mentioned that you were working to expand your
Yeah, but
Oasis
see,
and
I
make
know.
it better. And
This
Yeah,
girl
I-
looks stupid
yeah,
with Asuna at. Oh god, she's at my side.
yeah,
It's
so this
just
is a
so
3DS game.
chibi.
Yeah, this is definitely something that I would not play.
Yeah, so you are building. You're building out your. Well, I don't know if you are actually placing anything though, or if you're just unlocking things for your.
I'm done.
Oasis.
This-
I'm done looking at the screen.
Do
so
you
I'm
know
gonna
what this
look
looks
away at
like? Little King Story.
Mm.
it. I don't know that.
Oh really?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
That's something for another time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
It
yeah,
looks like this. Kind of.
That looked like something to get me more into playing my 3DS. Like it looked like an interesting.
This looks like a
game to
reason
play
for me not to
on
buy
that.
one. I'll be completely honest.
All right, what's next?
There is let's see. I wrote down here that Nintendo has really bad cable management.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was about.
Like in all of their shots, there is just mountains of
everywhere.
cables behind them because they had like 3 Wii U gamepads and all of them have to be hooked up to the screen system, and then they had like 4 3DSs on the table on like every side.
That's funny.
And then there was just like mountains of cables behind them for all the TVs and everything.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was funny.
Just
How
laid it out
bad
there.
and
That's really funny.
dangerous
I wish I
they're-
could have seen
yeah.
that.
I also wrote translators galore because everyone that comes to talk, all of their game developers, because they refuse to talk about third-party games at any of their events. They only talk about first-party games.
Yeah.
And so all of their developers are from Japan. And they don't bother to get, Nintendo of America people to talk about things. So everyone had to have a translator. And what I thought was really funny was everyone had a different translator. Like for each segment, they could have reused a translator, but no. You get your own translator.
I
because
actually
I think
heard about that.
I think each person still has that translator as a personal translator throughout.
I think those guys actually are like that's their job, is to be that guy's translator. And so I think they get their tonality, their sayings, their idioms of this particular person, and they're able to translate it better.
Maybe, but I just thought it was funny that
it is funny.
No reuse of translators.
Yeah.
Use them once and throw
One
them
shot
away.
shot.
Yeah. The next one was a game called Box Boy, which is the sequel to Box Boy.
Box Boy. I didn't even hear
I don't
Box
know it.
Boy until I saw Box Boy. I actually put this down on my list of things I'm interested in
It's a puzzle
because
game.
it's like a puzzle platformer
Mhm.
sort of thing. Well, puzzle, yeah, it is puzzle platformer. It seemed really cool. Box Boy itself had really good reviews.
Yeah.
I'm not a total fan of the art style on it. It's a little.
Reminds me kind of like Thomas Was Alone. Of what I saw, it reminds me of Thomas Was Alone without the colors.
Right.
Okay.
It's more than that. It's more than
Okay.
that.
It's just funny because you're like, it reminds me of a game that has 3 things to it without one of the things.
Without any one of those things.
Right, because it's just boxes.
Well, so it's Thomas Was Alone without colors or shapes.
Yeah.
No, Thomas Was Alone, the boxes... Have you played Thomas Was
Yeah.
Alone?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's all about, like, characterizing
I didn't say it
inanimate
was
objects.
Thomas Was Alone.
Right.
I said that it reminds me of the
Alright.
art
Yeah.
style.
Alright.
Not the game, the
Not
art
the game.
style.
All right.
Right.
All right.
But
It also reminds me a lot of, those old Flash games you used to get on like Newgrounds
Yeah,
and
that's... I was going to say...
yeah, definitely fits in that. I'm okay with it. Like I would play this.
stuff. Yeah.
That looks fun.
Yeah, so next
I like
was Mario Party Star Rush. We got a new Mario Party game. It was very unclear by their demo if this was a 3DS only game or if this was on the Wii U because they only played it on the 3DS.
Right.
Did they on this one?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Remember you were watching it?
Yeah, I was talking about. Okay, I guess I did see that.
Yeah, you're
You're right.
watching
I remember. I'd seen several others were already like that,
Right,
so
yeah.
I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah, so it was unclear if this was they just chose to play it with 3DS controllers, which you can do on the Wii U,
Right.
or if it was a 3DS only game.
Something I do have to point out is that we needed another Mario Party game.
Yeah. of
Everyone
course.
else, if you can't tell my sarcasm, throw a sarcasm mark in that.
Yokai Watch 2. Did you play Yokai Watch? Are you into Yokai Watch?
I have not played it. I need to watch it.
I know one person who's into it, but I'm not.
It looked, I guess, okay. Not a.
I'm into Yokai, and I just need to watch Yokai Watch, and then play a Yokai Watch game, and then buy a Yokai Watch.
Yeah, I mean, if any, we're skimming through. If any of these, they literally spent an hour and a half just playing unfinished games at Nintendo for each one of the games. So if y'all are interested in any of these games, I recommend that you go and look up the Nintendo Treehouse event because they were running into like. They literally were playing unfinished games. They're running into bugs or incomplete features and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's
And
how
they
it
were just
goes.
talking. They were just talking to the developer. So I mean, it's really just an interview style thing that
That's
they
pretty
did.
cool.
That's interesting.
They also kept mentioning things that they weren't supposed to mention to, which I thought was funny.
That's
like
funny.
the guy from
I feel like they do all of that on purpose.
Yeah.
yeah,
Probably.
probably.
It's a planned tease.
It felt a little bit like they didn't tell the developer guy though That because like with the Yokai Watch 2 thing, the guy was wearing the prototype, which I
Right.
guess was supposed to be a tease, so they told him wear the prototype. But then
But then he wanted to talk about it.
the presenter guy was like, "Oh, I'm just going to mention this," and then the guy started talking about it. And he's like, "No, hold on now. I don't think we're supposed to talk about this right now."
And he's like, and he'd be like,
And then
Oh.
the translator had to like stop translating. Was like, "Oh, never mind. I won't say anything."
yeah, that's funny. So if you speak Japanese, you learn a lot more.
I will pull that up and get some of my friends to look at that.
Yeah, they kept doing that throughout. That was a recurring theme the entire
Yeah, a lot of
Nintendo
that might be
Treehouse Live.
That's pretty funny.
Monster Hunter Generations. You play Monster Hunter, right?
I like Monster Hunter. I'm probably going to end up getting the 3DS so I can actually play this.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
because-
This is
I
also
need more
3DS.
people to play Monster Hunter with. I've been playing Monster Hunter since 2007, and I spent all my. You don't play Monster Hunter.
I have Monster Hunter Try. I haven't
Why
played it
don't,
yet.
why don't we
Try.
play
I haven't
Try?
played it yet.
I have Try.
I
have
try.
the 3DS.
I would go back and play. I will play any Monster Hunter again.
Let's
Any
play
of
it.
them. They're all the same.
Let's go play Try.
So
Let's go play
Generations,
Try.
I'm like,
I
whatever.
just got super excited.
Yeah, I totally play Try. Yeah.
I get to use my Wii again
Yeah.
for the first time in like
Oh
2
man,
years.
I have to find it.
No, I have for the.
My Wii is still sitting there, just unused.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
know
just
what
sitting
I
on
have.
the
I might
shelf.
have.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited. I know nothing at all about it. I don't care. Every single new one that comes out is new feature here, lost a feature there.
Gonna play it
Better
anyway.
this way, less that way, and I'll play it as long as somebody else does. As long as anyone else will play it with me, I'll get it. And if no one else gets it, then I won't get it. That's it for me.
Yeah. New Dragon Quest 7.
Okay.
I want to play Dragon. I want to play all.
I
the
might
Dragon
play that
Quests.
one.
I
haven't played
pulled
one
up
in
the
a
trailer
long
and
time.
looked at it, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
It was the same thing
It's
when I was
chibi.
looking.
It's
When I was
hyper
looking
chibi.
at what is that Oasis?
Yeah.
Ever Oasis.
Yeah.
Everyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, nope, I'm done with that one.
Tokyo
That's just not
Mirage Session Sharp FE.
Hashtag Iron.
I only looked at that one. I only clicked through, saw that there was the girl with her panties, and was like, I'm not looking at this one.
Did I even watch
So
this
what?
one?
What's it actually?
I don't know.
It's
I didn't
not even
watch
prominently featured. I actually went back to try to find it again
Uh-huh.
to like point it out, and
Yeah.
it's like 10 seconds of like a 10-minute trailer. So I'm not giving it a fair chance. So Brandon, give it a fair chance.
it. No, because I didn't watch it.
Oh, great.
I couldn't.
I
I,
think-
couldn't sit through an hour and a half of every single one of these
Do you know what
games.
it's about or anything?
No.
Okay, I
We're skipping
apologize,
this.
Tokyo Mirage.
Yeah, we're
I'll
skipping
talk
this.
about you next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Paper
we'll find
Mario
this out.
Color Splash. So I love
That
the
looked
Paper
cute.
Mario.
I love Paper Mario,
series.
but I haven't liked the last two.
The Color Splash, I was a little iffy on. I'm still a little iffy on it.
Color Splash sounds good to me. Sounds better than their stupid 3D,
Well,
2D thing.
I'm iffy on their aesthetic that they decided to go with. Like the whole thing about Paper Mario is you're on a paper world, so you're on two. Everything's supposed to be sort of flat, and you've got this sort of 2.5D thing where you can go sort of in and out on the planes and stuff like that. But it's
Right.
still a bunch of like flat pictures just on like a 3D plane. Paper Mario Color Splash is origami, so everything is 3D, but in sort of a paper origami style.
That sounds cool to me.
It doesn't look bad, but it's
I like the way it looked.
yeah.
I do like the way it looked. Like it
Some
was
of
an
the,
interesting choice, but I think they pulled it off really well. It looks clean.
They pulled it off for the most part, but there were some aspects of it that didn't end up looking like
Oh,
paper.
no,
like
no,
there
no,
were
no.
the umbrellas from the beach scene that I saw, and the umbrellas just looked like regular umbrellas. They didn't look papery or origami
Yeah.
or anything.
Okay, I'm gonna watch on yours because mine is flipping out. You know what? It's not exactly that it looks like origami. It's that it looks like it's supposed to take place on like a stop motion stage.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
like it's a physical, real thing.
Yeah,
The other thing is the characters aren't paper; they're stickers.
they're
Right.
stickers. Yeah.
Um,
I like the way it looked. I'm interested in it.
I'm interested.
I want to be optimistic. Some of the things that I've read online, though, people don't sound like they're very optimistic about the game. Some people have been. I think it's just because of the big change from the Paper Mario that they're used to.
So, I wish they would just cancel it being Paper Mario and go back to a new Super Mario RPG and throw it back to Square.
Well, that's what Paper Mario is at Mario RPG.
Well, I know, but it's not actually Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, I do want
It's
another.
not
I
this
do want
game
another Mario
literally
RPG.
that I've been fondling the whole time.
I do. Yeah, I want another Mario RPG. The battle system I'm not fond of, though. It's like a card battle system. So
God, no, please, no.
You go out and collect cards.
Well, look at that. That was like a real fire extinguisher that came in.
So you can see here in the corners.
That's what I was saying. So this actually looks like it's supposed to take place in the real world on a stage that they're doing.
Right.
You see here he's lifting up the stage.
I have to say it's very creative.
I think it is, and that's why I want to check it out because it looks like it's really.
It's just not the Paper Mario that we've come to know and love.
That's okay.
Honestly, the last two were crap, so it's about time.
Yeah,
that's okay.
So I'm gonna give it a fair shot. I really want to like it.
Call it Sticker Mario, and I'm in. I'm fine.
Well, the last Paper Mario on the DS was Sticker Star. But
you didn't put that down. October 7th.
I didn't do that for any of the Nintendo ones because I did not want to sit through them.
October.
It's really funny because you made the point to talk about a whole bunch of other ones.
Next one.
Rhythm Heaven Mega Mix.
Don't care personally.
Yeah, I couldn't. I watched that trailer and I was very confused.
It's a rhythm game.
I like rhythm games. I don't know what was going on in this game.
Yeah.
Well, I was very confused.
Yeah. So those are the big three. Then there are a couple of studios. Ubisoft had their own little thing. Bethesda had their own thing, and EA and Square had things. We can sort of skim through those. Ubisoft was awkward.
Let's talk about. Is there anything in
next time?
We can do that next time, or
I think
can we shout out anything from them that we actually liked that we didn't talk about? Was there anything that you?
No.
Yeah.
Not even For Honor.
Yeah, but I'd like to talk more about that.
Yeah, I'd like to spend time talking about that. Okay.
So I think I'm done at 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Let's talk about just quickly run through what our top list was. What are your most anticipated games coming up? What are you really looking forward to?
So I was really interested in We Happy Few.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And Monster Hunter Generations, which is probably going to be the reason why I get a 3DS. Well, that
a
plus...
new 3DS?
Well, I get a... Whatever. The newest thing that it is and whatever it's called. I'll just be like, what's the most
3DS.
recent expensive handheld from Nintendo?
Yeah.
I want that thing. I'm going to get that.
Oh, it's a retro 3DS.
Please, no.
In 1D.
Also, I would get it for the new Zero Escape game. Because I like that series.
I need to get into those. I played the demo and loved it.
Of the new one?
No.
Oh, okay.
One on
the first
DS.
one? Yeah. That one's great. I love that game. I just cosplayed as a character from that game.
Right.
So, so definitely get a 3DS for that. We haven't talked about it yet, but Titanfall.
Okay.
I will play Titanfall 2.
I probably won't. The game.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
No, I didn't go anywhere.
Fair.
Probably won't. Full stop.
And we're going to talk about We'll talk about that the next time, and we'll talk about For Honor.
Yeah,
that's something I'm really excited
That's
about.
What I was going to launch into it, and I'm like, next time.
Yeah, next time.
And instead, it just sounded like I was
Detroit Become Human seemed like it was really interesting. You should watch that trailer and see what to check out on that. And we just talked about Paper Mario Color Splash.
Yeah.
And I've already mentioned the other things that I liked. So. On the podcast.
Okay. Yeah, Detroit. I will check that out. It sounds really
Detroit
cool.
Become Human.
What's up, Brandon?
Yeah, that's just your list is mostly the same as mine. Is Final Fantasy 15, Legend of Zelda,
a lot of crossover.
Horizon Zero Dawn. I've been excited about that since I first saw it. Detroit Become Human is really interesting. Color Splash, South Park 2,
The Fractured But Whole.
Yeah, Butthole. Watch Dogs 2 looked interesting. It looks like everything that they didn't put in Watch Dogs 1 and really made Watch Dogs 1 a disappointment. They fixed in Watch Dogs 2 and put all of the actual hacking mechanics in Watch Dogs 2.
Did you see gameplay of Watch Dogs 2?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because, I assumed that what we actually saw from the...
They actually went through a mission.
Lies.
I assumed the lies that they told us about Watch Dogs 1 were going to be in Watch Dogs 1 and they weren't.
Yeah,
so that's why at the moment Watch Dogs 2 is not on my list and has joined the ranks of Dishonored 2 and Dishonored 1 and everything else that I'm just not ever going to play.
Yeah, they actually went through a mission. There's stealth, there's hacking, there's...
We'll talk more about that one next time. So. What else you got?
We Happy Few is good. Halo Wars 2 I'm excited about. And Cup Wars, which wasn't actually at E3... Or not Cup Wars, Cuphead. Which wasn't actually at E3, but it was
this guy.
It was in the ID at Xbox show reel, and I've been excited about Cuphead since I first saw it. It is amazing. You should check it out.
I'll look that up. I haven't seen that yet.
But yeah, that's our E3. Anything y'all want to add before we call it a day?
I could do my list.
We did your list.
We asked you, and then you didn't say anything.
Yeah, you
What?
just
No,
kept-
you started talking.
You just
I
kept,
waited. I
you
waited.
just kept concurring, and then you
Yeah,
said,
what's-
"Oh, I'll talk about it
What's
next
your
time."
list? What are you excited
No,
about?
nobody wants to hear it.
I do.
Um,
You were the one who said, I guess I can find something to talk about. So
No, it's I really like. I'm excited for Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
Zelda, Paper Mario Color Splash. I might actually buy. Monster Hunter Generations. The Detroit one looks cool. I want to look more into it. For Honor and Mountain Blade 2.
Mountain Blade 2.
Yeah, those are. However, most of these, I guess all games ever, I'm always like, let's see. I'm not sure that any of these will be good.
Mm-hmm.
So the only one I'm kind of sure that it's going to be good is Final Fantasy 15. If it's not good, something really crazy happened.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
Last
the
Guardian.
list's gonna be good. Yeah, Last Guardian. Yeah.
And Horizon Zero Dawn. I need to look more into, but it looks like it might be something I like.
I like the way that one looked. I'm still gonna give it some time, but
Yeah.
I could make it up there.
All right, so that's our crazy 2.5 hour long E3
Part one
E3
E3 update.
podcast.
No, that's it. That's it for E3. We're done.
I think in the next one we should talk about a couple of those games.
Things that are not the big three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one we'll just talk about games so that we're not dating ourselves.
because that dates ourselves more
Right,
than-
yeah.
We're going to be talking about these games.
Yeah, these games
so-
that aren't out yet.
That's fine.
Trust me, I watched the Mega 64 podcast and went back to one where they were talking about the Wii coming out. And I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
That'll be us someday.
Next time we'll just talk about more specific things, though. But yeah.
All right.
It's a far smaller list than
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
We're going
Yeah.
through. So
Thanks for sticking with us. If you did,
Seriously, if you stuck all the way through here,
give yourself a pat
let
on
us
the back.
let us know.
I'll buy you tacos if you
Let us know. We will quiz you. We
Yeah,
will
we'll
ask you
definitely-
questions about it, so you'll have to be prepared to answer them.
I'll take you to
But we
breakfast,
will buy you
then I'm gonna-
tacos.
Then I'm going to quiz you the whole time.
Exactly.
They won't remember the answers to any of the questions that they give you.
No,
though,
but
so
you
don't
better
worry.
have an answer.
Yeah.
You must have a answer. If you don't, you're paying for breakfast.
Yeah. All right.
We said we'll take you. We're not going to pay for you unless you know and listen.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this incredibly long EA podcast of Behind the Pixels. I've been Brandon.
I've been Moose.
I've been someone else most of the time.
Yeah.
I've been better, but I've been worse.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Adios.
Sayonara. Go away.